Пошли. Все вместе. Какие ваши доказательства?
They want you to comply.
Cancel culture is about canceling.
Кокаином.
Up yours. Woke moralists. Up yours.
This is systematic bullying that's happening.
Woke moralists. Up yours.
And they believe that they can then
Woke
shut us
moralists.
up.
Up around and find out.
Up yours. Woke moralists.
They seem animalistic is what I mean.
No, they're worse than animals.
The woke mob, they ruin everything.
They stop Ben Shapiro from going to events and speaking. They stop Ann Coulter from doing it.
I will never surrender even a single inch of ground to a pitchfork mob.
You never cave to the mob.
We will never bow to the mob. Ever. No matter what.
Do you see the final expression of cancel culture in terrorist groups like
Up yours.
We'll see who cancels who.
Hey everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
How's your Thursday going?
Not good. Believe me, not good.
Yeah, you were on it, David.
No matter what anyone says, I'm pushing this button. Doesn't matter.
I was already
great.
looking for a soundbite, and you said the perfect question. So I was like,
I love that. I hope there's more sound bites. That's great.
it's actually doing fine. My day's whatever.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
How about you? How are you?
I'm doing well. Yeah, got lots of sleep, so I feel energetic, uncharacteristically so. By the end of the stream, I'll be completely drained, and my brain will stop functioning. But, for now, I feel great.
That's usually how I am at the end of these.
Yeah.
I'm just crawling to bed.
Yeah. I mean, live streaming is mentally very, very draining.
I think it's fine if we did these podcasts in the morning, like 10 a.m. Perfect time. 10 a.m. Eastern time. So you West Coast people got to wake the fuck up.
That would be 7 for me, which would be a little bit difficult because I'm not a morning person.
I feel like I don't see you. I don't see you tweet or put anything out till 3 in the afternoon. You're you wake up at what 12.
I wake
Pacific
up at
time?
around 9 or 10 every single day Pacific.
Okay.
That's
normal.
But it takes me a very long time to get my brain turned on. I have to just kind of sit there and stare at my phone for 30 minutes before I even get out of bed. I'm just not a morning person, so it's really difficult for me. By a couple of hours later, I feel like my mind is okay, I'm awake finally. So yeah, I'm a late night person, not a morning person.
I feel like I'm both. I enjoy being awake at night and I enjoy being up early, but it's really hard trying to do both of those things. It doesn't really work out for me.
You've got to pick one. I feel like I really am envious of people who are morning people just because I think it's, you get to see the sunrise early. It's beautiful. Everybody's up and about. So but maybe it's just because I'm more of a late night person. So it's the grass is always greener on the other side. I also enjoy, staying up and, watching TV and playing video games and stuff and just kind of vegging out. But yeah, I respect the morning folks.
Yeah, I also have to be awake because I have a child and I have to do things.
I was going to say,
that's true.
Probably play a big factor in this.
Yeah, but even before I had a child, I didn't mind waking up as long as I got proper sleep. And but then again, I can't stay. Whatever. This is. It's never worked out for me. Never had proper sleep, so it doesn't really work. Doesn't really matter.
I never sleep.
That's exactly what I expected.
I was checking YouTube last night and I saw you streaming. I was like, oh, look at that.
Yeah, I was on until I think 12 or 12:30, and then I had to wake up to take my kids to school around. We leave the house at 7:30ish. So,
so you got 6 hours.
Yeah, about
that's 4 a.m. for me.
Once I'm done with the show, even though I'm exhausted, I can't just fall right to sleep. So I usually end up watching a movie or playing.
A movie?
Yeah.
Like a 2-hour movie?
That's a big commitment.
Yeah. The other night,
David Lynch before you go to bed.
I just put something on. My wife liked to put on background movies when bedtime. And so last night I caught myself watching the entirety of the background movie Jurassic Park 3.
That's the one where the Velociraptor talks in the plane, right?
Yes, it is.
Nice.
Yes. Alan!
Yeah, I don't remember this.
So funny.
I don't remember 3 at all. I know I saw it, but I don't remember anything about it.
Yeah, I remember Lost World and the first one, of course, but the third one, I feel like I just purged it from my mind.
No, 3 is a fun one. I actually think 3 is more fun than the second one. But it's just a very straightforward movie. It's probably the simplest of the Jurassic Park movies. It's the one where this kid gets caught on the dinosaur island, and the parents kidnap Dr. Alan Grant to help find their son on the island. Do you guys remember? Is it ringing a bell now?
It's not for me, honestly.
Maybe I didn't see it. I thought I did. I don't remember that at all.
I definitely watched it because I know we marathoned like all 3 of them. This was before the new ones, like back in 2014. So I saw it. I don't have the information saved in my head.
There are so many things like when I watch a movie, unless it like really hit me or I watch it like more than one time, I forget completely like what the plot. Like this is the same thing with video games. Like maybe because the stories aren't as good generally in video games, but like I'll finish a game and then months later, I'm like, oh, I beat that game, but what happened in the story? I don't remember anything.
I'm glad
I'm not good with that stuff. My brain does not retain that information.
I'm the same way, but I'm so much worse in the sense that as I'm watching it, like I forget names. So like when we were watching Game of Thrones, it was insufferable because like
there's so many characters.
That person who's Littlefoot again, is that the guy who's bald?
Littlefoot.
Fuck! I just want to watch the show. I'm like, but I'm trying to follow along. I can't. Like, there's too many fucking characters and they have weird names. Yeah. Yeah, I need a better attention span. Speaking of movies, I did see a movie that's very controversial over the weekend. Against my better judgment, I saw Civil War. I didn't want to see it in theaters, but I was morbidly curious. And it was basically what I expected. It was not very good.
Mike basically handed money over to
Andy No.
Andy No. Nice to
supporting Andy No. Mike didn't know that.
Also supporting, local movie theaters. So, I don't know.
Trade off.
Your local AMC? Did you go to some indie theater? Maybe if you did, that would be a good excuse. But...
No, it was actually a smaller theater. It's not a chain or anything. I will say, listen, the movie is beautifully shot. I think that the sound design was great. The acting was phenomenal. The movie was just bad, and it was the most cowardly thing I've ever seen. It's like you make a movie about the most politically charged topic imaginable, but you go out of your way to not offend a single person.
That's what I've heard almost universally. That's kind of the universal condemnation of it.
Yeah, and I had a problem with that because, it's basically like, okay, journalists, we're going to go from point A to point B, and, there's going to be things that happen as we go on our journey. And they give you like little crumbs about the situation. Like the president, okay, he kind of turned into a dictator. I won't say too much in case people want to see it, but like you never get a sense as to who's the good who's the good guys, who's the bad guys? Are these fascists? Are they not? There was really no rhyme or reason to the California Texas alliance, which I thought there would be some sort of like explanation there. It's just, hey, we're gonna not offend anyone.
So it's like, it's very vague. It's just like, oh, people are fighting. Who knows exactly why? But these things are happening.
Right. And part of it is, I think it was purposeful.
Waste.
Aside from being like a bitch move, I think it was purposeful because you could tell that, like, this is from the perspective of journalists. So in an ideal world, journalists are viewing something from an objective lens. They're not taking sides. So I think that that's why he tried to do this.
That's having not exactly true either.
It's unrealistic.
Spoken to a single journalist, right? Yeah, probably.
Right, it's unrealistic, and the journalists do, in a sense, like they have criticisms and whatnot. But overall, it was ideologically incoherent. Like the politics of it weren't really there. And when you're making a movie about a civil war, like you need more context. Like that's the most interesting part. But really, it's just about journalists, and they'll do anything to get that perfect shot. When it's like, okay, but the environment that you create, like it's a civil war. I want to know more, and they just kind of, gave us blue balls the whole movie, and it was a bitch move. They could have told us more. I was a bit disappointed. I was pretty disappointed, but I expected it to be kind of like cowardly, like a very liberal like response to civil war, where it's like, hey, this is bad. We shouldn't do civil war, but we're not going to tell you like the catalyst for it. So.
Well, there's a lot of really good indie movies that don't explain a lot of things. But what you're saying is that it doesn't seem like this was for storyline purposes. It seems like it was because he just didn't want to make it.
Well, it's also because it's the moment, right? Like you're releasing a film based on something that a lot of people feel is happening during a very intense and charged moment in American history. So are you going to actually, like, you know, add any kind of artistic nuance to this conversation, explore it in an interesting way? What are you going to do? And but I can't speak on it. I haven't seen it. I spent the weekend watching John Woke instead, and it was really good.
That's a great series.
Highly recommend it. The new film Monkey Man.
I heard that was great.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
It's good. Very
What's
entertaining.
that
about? It's a new film by Dave Patel that apparently he had a really hard time making because it's an action film that centers completely on Indian culture, mythology, location, mostly all Indian actors too. But Jordan Peterson, Jordan Peele, way cooler. Jordan Peele ended up producing it, made it, and it's just like a really good badass action film, and well made, original, very entertaining. The reason I joked about John Woke is because it's got a team of very, I would say, awesomely portrayed trans people in the film who essentially, I don't ruin anything, but turn out to help the hero quite a bit. So yeah, good movie.
Love that.
Interesting.
I do like the idea of Jordan Peterson seeing this movie and falling in love with it.
We have to get it distributed.
Your Jordan Peterson's hilarious.
We have to get it distributed.
It doesn't sound at all like him, but you get the essence.
There was no monkey in this movie.
It's like Jordan Peterson if he was a Muppet, though. It's good.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, we should probably talk about real things.
I can't picture him. I can't picture him tweeting about the movie though. Like literally getting upset. They're like, the movie is called Monkey Man, but there are no monkeys in the movie.
There's a comedian's voice that you sound like that I'm trying to figure out.
I just sounded like Pee Wee Herman a little bit there, I think.
But I'm thinking of somebody else.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's gonna kill me now because I can't forget this or can't remember this guy's name.
Jordan Peterson's Big Adventure.
Someone just said, "What about Bobcat?"
Yes, Bobcat.
Goldthwait?
That's exactly. Yes, that's exactly who I was thinking. Yes.
Also, I could do a Bobcat impression without even knowing.
That was your Bobcat impression. That was perfect.
Little Pee Wee, little Bobcat. Yeah.
I don't think I've heard him talk.
He sounds like Matt Binder.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, that impression.
His name is Bobcat, though. I've never thought about this. I've known about him and I've seen some of his movies, but that's a very bold choice of a name. Kudos to his parents.
Yeah.
Hold on,
shout out to his parents.
Hold on,
shout out to all the parents.
Yeah, I hate to say this, Mike, but I had a feeling. But his name is Robert Francis Goldthwait.
Oh, that's lame. Okay. So it's a moniker.
No, his parents really wanted a cat, and they came out as a person. They're like, oh, "Fuck it, call him Bobcat."
Makes sense.
I mean, yeah, you can make your own name if you want to. There's no rules. I don't have to go by Mike. I could go by Leopard Guy. That's stupid, but you know what I mean. Fill in better sounding cool name. I just think leopards are cool, so it came.
Leopard Guy. Anyways, what happened news happened this week? Did anything happen this week? I've covered 3 Canadian stories this past week because I find everything happening in America so boring.
Up the Canada content.
So I'm just at least it's happening here.
David, what I realized while watching your video, I was listening to your video at the gym, and so all I heard were the voices, and it dawned on me that Pierre Pollievre, if I'm saying his name right, he is the Canadian Ted
Pollievre,
Cruz.
but it doesn't really matter.
Oh, Pollievre.
I don't care.
He's the Canadian Ted Cruz.
I honestly don't think Mike cares that much either. He just wanted to say that he was working out at the gym.
and Ted Cruz is the Canadian Ted Cruz. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah, Ted Cruz is a Canadian Ted Cruz. But no,
that's true.
He's more. I'd say he's more like the Ron DeSantis, maybe. But I don't know.
Yeah, I'd agree.
He's him. He's just he's an annoying little dweeb.
Just think of Milhouse. He's a fascist Milhouse, Mike. That's every time you hear him.
Fascist Milhouse.
He's fascist Milhouse. Yeah.
That's
who he is. Yeah.
Yeah, I just get nerdy vibes. Yeah, like so fake, disingenuous, like that thumb pointing type of politician.
So let me play a clip of him because I want you guys to tell me whether or not you believe that he thinks what he is saying here, or if this is just a figure of speech. So I'm gonna play this video. Let me bring this up.
While David's doing this, just for anyone who doesn't know about this guy, he's the leader of the Conservative Party of Canada. He's most likely going to be the Prime Minister of Canada. Any moment that an election is called, all the polls show that he's leading it. He sucks on so many levels. And these are kind of more the laughing at him clips than the horrifying racist clips that he's got. Like the guy's like he's spoken at conferences held by residential school denialists. He hasn't disavowed extremist white supremacist groups like Diagolon up until the point that one of the leaders of Diagolon actually like made jokes about sexually assaulting his wife. Then he suddenly denounced them. Like he's got like a monstrous rap sheet of shit. He sucks.
And that's on top of the fact that of course he pretends he's like a working class hero. Meanwhile, his entire career has been spent propping up massive corporations, voted against gay marriage, voted against cannabis legalization, voted for restrictions on abortion. Like he also criticizes career politicians like Justin Trudeau. His only career ever has been in Parliament. He's been since his early 20s. It's the only job he ever had. Like, he's so funny. But
and he's doing the anti-LGBTQ plus stuff now.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, really?
Just like 6 months behind the US, but same talking points, exact same
on.
shit. Like,
and his supporters, you can tell they're stupid because look at how they spell paychecks. It's wrong. Dumb Canadians.
All right, so listen to this.
The electrician who captures lightning from the sky runs it through a copper wire to illuminate this room and light up the world is not ordinary, he is extraordinary. The electrician that captures the electricity from the sky and runs it through a copper wire to light up this room, he is extraordinary.
The electrician who captures lightning, runs it through a copper wire to light up your home, tames the most fierce force in nature to make us all comfortable and happy and illuminate this room. He is not ordinary, he is extraordinary.
The electrician who's able to capture light through copper wire.
I love that it's got to be in French too.
En français. He is not ordinary. He is extraordinary.
Even in French. Okay. One time I could see, he's just, being hyperbolic, whatever. 4 times describing the steps and how he thinks electricity is generated.
It's sorcery.
Does he really think this is how we have electricity? They capture lightning from the sky? Like,
wow. Everyone knows it's a mage who powers it with magic.
Of course, exactly. Thank you. Yes.
He's so stupid.
But this is just like, this is the ridiculous, again, as Lance said, this is like the ridiculous part of him. But this guy is not a good person.
No, it's really unfortunate.
I'm sad.
All polling points towards him. That's like, I wish I had.
He's such a Stephen Harper type too. Like same type of like dweeb,
he worked for him.
Establishment type. Oh yeah, that makes sense.
He was the housing minister under him. Didn't do shit for housing, and now he's trying to claim that he's the one to solve housing. Like, you were in that position, jackass. You didn't do anything. It's unbelievable.
So sad. Canada, I mean, come on. Why would you copy us when we're doing everything wrong? Don't do the opposite of what we do. Jesus. I don't want to flee to some hellhole that's fascistic.
Since we're on the topic of Pierre Pollievre, this is the clip that I covered this week. It is so fun to watch. So this is going to be a liberal MP that goes after him, but here it is.
Why won't they realize that they're the problem and not the solution?
Alex Jones endorsed him, by the way.
Oh, of course.
Mr. Speaker, the leader of the opposition has been masquerading across the country as a working class hero, but it's fascinating when you actually listen to what he thinks people do for a living. In a couple of recent speeches, he said he thinks electricians capture electricity from the sky and that welders weld with their bare hands. What's he going to tell me next? The fishermen in my community dive beneath the ocean and catch them with their bare teeth? Mr. Speaker, I can forgive the opposition leader for being a career politician who's been on the public dime for a couple of decades, but if he wants to represent the interests of the working class, he should talk to a person who has a real job.
I'm telling you, America's missing out by not having this, but not having question period, not having parliament. Like,
Parliament.
I know. Yeah.
I would love to see, Donald Trump, like, when he was president, have to be in this in this situation.
Yeah. Question time is the best part about
it. Would be good for him.
Oh yeah.
Well, actually,
question time from
he
like
probably
the UK
would.
and
Trump
it's my favorite thing about parliamentarian systems. Yeah. Although you guys have question time, we have something even better. So I'm going to share an article with you all. I was telling David about it before the stream. So the Freedom Caucus did something that I think is incredibly brave and intelligent. And so this is from Olivia Beavers. So Freedom Caucus on alert for possible moves against its GOP leaders. So, there's this move to oust Mike Johnson, and part of the contention, aside from like Ukraine funding that they're against, is that he is bringing bills to the floor without the ability for them to introduce amendments or without enough time to read it. So the Freedom Caucus came up with the most brilliant idea imaginable to respond to this. And I'm going to read this article, just a couple of paragraphs. Conservatives in the House Freedom Caucus are signing up to take shifts to monitor the chamber floor in order to prevent their own party leaders from making unilateral moves that could curb their power. The Freedom Caucus Floor Action Response Team, shorthanded as FART, aims to guard against an unannounced request to pass resolutions that would stealthily limit their leverage against leadership, according to two Republicans. That's all I wanted to show you. That's it. That's the story. They came up with FART. Brilliant.
To be fair, it is an accurate representation of the Republican Party.
Yeah.
Just a whole lot of smelly gas. That's the entire party.
Hot air.
Yeah, I appreciate
hot
them.
air. Hot, smelly air.
I want them to come. I want like the establishment Republicans to come up with like burp or something, like Bill something. Just come up with all these kind of acronyms: burp, fart, shit. I mean, throw in queef. Like I want good acronyms. Okay. Respect to them.
I was trying to think of one that could be like Dick. Democrats in Central something.
Kansas.
Democrats in Central Kansas. Perfect. Before we were off the Pollievre stuff, just one last thing, just so it's not all just just him looking dumb. He's also just very in bed with corporate lobbyists. So they stack their top counsel with corporate lobbyists, and this is while they're discussing how they're gonna work against the liberal corporate corruption. Which, to be fair, yes, the Liberal Party is very much in many ways in bed with corporations. The Conservative Party more so, and they even had there were even grassroots conservative members who tried to exclude lobbyists, and the party was like, no, we're not going to do that. So they were squashed by the majority of members of the party to ensure that lobbyists for whether it's of course oil lobbyists, pharmaceutical lobbyists, anti-union lobbyists, like this is again all while they're discussing how they're for the working class, real estate lobbyists. So it's just
it's populism is what it should be recognized for, right? Faux populism, I should say, because that's it's the same strategy you hear from the Tucker Carlsons of the world, where they have why does every pundit have wood everywhere? Why are they in garages doing wood shop and stuff like that? Because I'm the common man, I'm the working man. I know what it is to make something with my own two hands. It's like, motherfuckers, you are so soft. Like the cream.
I'm just amazed how many people are falling for it. Like, I understand not liking Justin Trudeau, especially after almost 9 years of him being prime minister, but to simply sway to the complete other direction and be like, oh, so I'm for Pierre Pollievre now, who is for all the same things I hate about Trudeau and more. It just doesn't, it's not logical. Now I understand, unfortunately we have first past the post, which is always going to tamp down the ability for third parties to gain any kind of power in this country. But just people need to be aware of who Pierre Pollievre is, and the fact that the Conservative Party, if election were held today, which thankfully it's not, but he would likely form a majority government. I think this is why I'm going to start maybe discussing a little more Canadian politics, every week or so, because I want to put the message out there that people should be aware of who this guy is and don't fall for his bullshit.
I'm curious because one of your videos, David, you said that there was a poll that showed that most young people were going to vote conservative. Why do you think that is? Because
young men, young men and young women are completely split in this country. But yes, younger voters are consuming conservative.
There was a poll that showed it wasn't a majority, but there was like it was 42% of 18 to 29-year-olds are supporting the conservatives.
So that's a plurality. That's a lot still.
It's a plurality, but the issue, I mean, again, the issue, I wouldn't say issue, but one of the features of the multi-party system is that you have, the liberals, the Greens, and the NDP. If you add them all up, it's more than the Conservative Party in support. And not saying all those parties are the same, they're not. But I know many voters, including myself, who have voted for all three of those parties. So like many of those voters will sway between the party depending on what riding they're in, depending on who has a chance in that riding, or depending on who they like that election. So that's always going to be that's always going to work against the ability for a more left-wing party or the Liberal Party, I guess, to form government, is they have their vote essentially in some ways split among several parties. And that, again, this is why the worst thing the Liberal Party did when they first came in 2015 was not follow through on electoral reform, where they were going to change this. They were going to get rid of first past the post. They were going to move to a system that better represented the people. And that is, I would say, out of any of the things they didn't deliver on, out of any of their, you could say, lies, that is the worst one, because that not only would have helped the country generally, I think it would have helped them as well. Right. But now we're in this situation, or maybe they prefer it this way, where it's it's going to be them or the conservatives every single time. There's no there's no risk of maybe
they don't want to do a coalition
support.
Ever.
Yeah, there's no risk of losing support to the NDP or the Greens, really, because it's very hard for either of those parties to get any real ground. But that was their biggest failure, is not delivering on electoral reform, because first past the post is just shit.
Yeah. Is there a lot of talk of vote splitting and spoilers? I know it probably depends on the riding that you're in, but in the United States, it doesn't matter what state you're in. There's always talk of spoilers.
Oh yeah.
Up until recently, I think it's okay, well, if I'm in a blue state or red state, but all my life, it's always been oh my God, you have to vote for one of the two parties. Is there that same kind of sentiment?
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, especially in I'd say in 2015, people were so done with the Conservative Party that there was a concerted effort that I think was successful to kind of coalesce the vote around the Liberals to ensure that they got out the Conservatives. And since then, people have become more annoyed with Trudeau and the Liberals generally, so that isn't as powerful of a message.
Burnout.
Trudeau, which I get it. Trudeau is very just on appearances alone, very performative, very fake. The way he delivers not even just speeches, the way he talks on camera is very grating. After 9 years of hearing, it's just annoying. So I totally understand that. And then on top of that, people are oh, look at the price of gas, and that's Trudeau's fault, which no. There are things you can blame him for. That really isn't the biggest issue. And now actually their new budget that they released this week, kind of shockingly, raises the taxes on wealthy people to the point that they're trying to push back against, and there's this big
it raises the capital gains to, I believe, $250,000. If you make more than $250,000, your capital gains is going up to about 66% up from what it previously was, which is a 16% increase. So it essentially applies to 40,000 people. That's it in the whole country, aka the
0.13% of people is what it applies to.
Yeah,
and
but the rich and the not so rich were all so mad about it. Even the people who it doesn't apply to, the middle tier, kind of the ones who parrot all the billionaires' talking points, they're all just oh, this is just to give welfare checks to the welfare kings and queens so they can buy the fudge rounds, all that kind of stuff. That's not how this works. Poor people aren't buying homes and living off the the fucking socialist heat. That's not the world we live in.
Yeah, and to deal with our massive, insane housing crisis, they're actually going to, at least right now, they're promising to build, I think it's 4 million new homes, and lease off, I think, public land for some of that as well. So there are some attempts to, and also dealing with rent. I forget exactly how they're doing that, but they're attempting to try and bring down rent costs as well. So that they're actually, attempting some things in the way that I really have not seen the Liberals do before. And I think part of that is they know they're losing a lot of support, especially young people, and they need to get those people to vote for them if they want to maintain any kind of power. Their biggest issue, though, if they really want to maintain power, they have to get rid of there has to be a leadership race. Like he can't like that. I think that's the biggest thing holding them back, because I covered this poll last week. It shows that Trudeau has these massive unfavorables, but Pierre Pollievre isn't that popular. Like looking at polling of him, he's like around 39%, I think, approval, 34% negative. Jagmeet Singh's around the same numbers. So it's not like the conservative or the popularity of the conservatives is what's driving their popularity. It's the hatred of Trudeau and the Liberals. Trudeau is so hated that it is boosting the Conservative Party. If they just replaced him, I don't even know if there's a perfect replacement. Like, I don't know who you think, Lance, would really help them. Not that I care to help the Liberals, but like against the Conservatives. Like, I'm not sure who has a chance. Who would
at this time? No one's old enough. No one's in that sweet Goldilocks zone where you're basically at that age where you're like above 38 but before 50, where you're kind of like that's considered young and upcoming in this particular. Like, it's the same thing with American politics, right? You have to be a man who's aged in this really specific zone where it's like, oh, that's a very young politician, Maybe Obama was like 40 something when he was president, and he was like the youngest president ever. It's like similar to that.
And anytime it's a young person, when Trudeau was first running, the big line from the Conservatives were, "Oh, he's just not ready. He's just not ready." It's just like, if you have somebody who doesn't look like they're old and grizzled, he's too young. He's just not ready. Meanwhile, I don't know. His dad was the prime minister. If anybody's young and ready for the spotlight, it's probably somebody whose father was prime minister. Which also, I think, many ways you can work against you and make you disconnected. But I don't know. Like Chrystia Freeland, I think a lot of people don't like her either, so I don't think she's a great replacement. Maybe the guy I just showed you, Sean Fraser, he's the housing minister. Maybe.
Oh yeah,
he has some pretty good one-liners. Maybe he'll be okay. But I don't know. That's what they got to do.
I'll just add this though, because I know obviously I'm sure a lot of the American viewers are tired of us talking about Canada. Although we do talk about America.
It's fascinating.
90% of the time.
I'll say.
Yeah, I enjoy talking about it.
That's like, I don't care. I don't care about any of you Canucks.
The thing
I will
give
say
me
this.
is hockey and Bret the Hitman Hart. All right? Anything else?
Hockey, that's right. Starts this weekend.
Yeah. It does start this weekend. Canucks are looking good, David. That's all I'm going to say. Sorry. I will say this. Same thing applies to the U.S. If you're looking towards the next Canadian election, you're feeling depressed, it's most likely, it sucks because it does look like there's going to be conservative majority. But there are, people should also look towards other victories that are happening in other aspects of the left. For example, Canada just had a massive land back victory for the Haida Gwaii people. I believe over 200 islands suddenly are getting land titles signed over from the Crown. So fuck you, England. Fuck you, King. They're going rightfully to the people who will have land title treaty over them. That's huge. It's not really reported mainstream. It's not that sexy. It's not interesting to people outside of the country. But it's a massive, what I would say, leftist victory for land back against colonization. It's a similar theme to what you're probably hearing in a lot of the world right now. So
nice.
Yeah.
One question I have is because I don't know exactly how it works. So when does Trudeau have to call an election? I'd imagine he'd wait as long as possible, but is there a time limit? Does he have to do it within 5 years? So when is the deadline basically?
So it will, if there's a no confidence vote, if the NDP, I think, decide to turn against him, there'll be an election called. But in lieu of that happening, I forget when the next scheduled one is. I think it's next year.
Oh, so they're just kind of scheduled?
So there's both a scheduled one, and there's at any single time, if basically Parliament can't pass a budget, then an election is called. And so right now, for the government that we have, the Liberals have a minority government. So at any given time, they have to be propped up by the NDP to pass their budget. So the NDP have been using that for utilizing soft power. This is actually kind of cool because they're Soc Dems. They identify further left than the Liberals are. They've been trying to implement and successfully implemented things like dental care, for example. They got a dental care program passed by saying, we're only going to pass your budget if you agree to do a federal dental care program. Now, it's not ideal, and it starts with a whole bunch of kind of checks and balances. You have to be making X amount of money. Like it's not as universal as it should be, but it's basically they're wielding their soft power in a parliamentary system to prop up the libs. But at a certain point, it can't go on forever, as David's saying. There is a scheduled
so it's October 20th, so on or before October 20th of next year. So that'll be
next year. Okay, so they actually have time to get their shit together. Okay, because I was thinking it was like the UK, where I think that the prime minister has to call an election within 4 or 5 years, and they usually wait until like polling is optimal before they call it, although the Conservatives have just been in power forever. But I thought
if you have if you have a majority, you can call it. Like he could, if he thought he was in a good position, he could call an election.
Okay,
but it there's as Lance said, there it is scheduled, but it can be called or triggered beforehand
if they can't pass a budget.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. See, when we can't pass a budget, we just shut the shit down.
I love it. Government just shuts down.
Yeah, that's why I think parliamentary systems are so much better, just because there's that possibility of coalition governments.
Coalition is good. Better. The problem is it's toxic in Canada for some reason. Whenever it's proposed, like there's been times in the past where there was like an alliance that was trying to be formed between the Libs, the Bloc Québécois, and like a whole bunch of other different factions, and people almost revolted. They were like, "No, the Conservatives won. This is like treason." And it's like, no, that's how parliamentary systems work. But Canadians, I think, don't know it or they don't understand it. But yeah, we don't do it like Europe does. Like Europe does so many, just sometimes wacky coalitions. We're like, whoa, this like far right group is joining with the centrist group. This is joining with a little bit of the Workers' Party. Like we don't get that kind of wacky wild European stuff. Yeah,
I think that's usually because they don't have first past the post. That's usually because they have a proper like electoral system where the parties are kind of forced to work together. Whereas ours, it's a little different.
Yeah, there was in Germany, I think it was like in the 2000s. The Greens were actually in a coalition with, I think, the Social Democrats, and they ended up pissing off so many people because they voted for war just to hold the coalition together because they didn't want to destroy their power, and that was really interesting to see. But I much prefer parliamentary systems. American system is so broken that like anything seems preferable. But I mean, you all have problems too, obviously.
Just varying degrees, and for me, like the Americans, the one thing that I find really ridiculous is just the fact that the Supreme Court holds way too much fucking power, and these people are on there forever. I feel like the Supreme Court here is never really discussed. Like you can kind of work around it in government. It's important, but it doesn't
the Senate's
operate
not discussed either.
Yeah, the Senate also is not a really. I mean, it's we have one, but it's not really important in the same way.
It's more ceremonial, right? Like it doesn't.
Yeah, sometimes wacky stuff happens. It's one of those situations where, like, what exactly is a governor general? Wait, Canada has a queen? Oh, a king, I should say, as a head of state. That's weird, right? But then it's like the governor general can actually be used in times like Stephen Harper prorogued Parliament for like a certain period of time, and that was seen as highly controversial, right? So there are times when it's like it's just a quorum until it isn't, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh wait, you're actually exercising your authority to suddenly pause Parliament to be to do something sketchy. Oh, you can do that. All right, well, we're all just finding it out. Yeah, I know. That was wild.
So does your court have, like your Supreme Court, does it have judicial review?
I don't even know the details of how it operates, to be honest with you. Like it's so not a discussion here. It's like I could not give you the ins and outs of how our Supreme Court. I'm not sure if Lance knows, but I could not give you the ins and outs of our Supreme Court.
I don't even know how anything works in the court's rooms.
Yeah, it's very.
And that means that your court system is better than ours, because if you're not thinking about it that much, it's just working better.
I just keep representing myself. That's all I know. It's worked out so far.
So like king could make a decree, and Canada's got to listen, right? Like
in theory,
you're still the king. You're still the king's bitch.
It's a constitutional monarchy. It's not a monarchy, but in theory, we're supposed to listen. They just don't ever exercise that authority in constitutional.
Like monarchies. you guys were like mourning when the Queen died, right? Like
they were devastated.
It wasn't talking about Lance.
It wasn't
David
a day off
in particular.
You guys were
I was celebrating. No, I was
hurt.
getting
I was hurting bad.
I was getting people screaming at me on the internet for saying "fuck the queen" and shit like that. And they're like, "Oh my god, it wasn't her fault. She was born into this. Do you not know? And like, she didn't do anything bad. This was post-colonization and all this kind of stuff." And I was like, "Oh well, let's talk."
Yeah, I don't get the whole she was born into this because like she could just
born
be
into
like
so much privilege.
She could literally be the one to change the game and just be like, I abdicate the throne. It's done. This is no more.
Yeah.
True.
No more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Indigenous folk were celebrating. They were having a time. Indigenous Twitter was fucking hilarious that day. Irish Twitter was fucking hilarious that day. Like basically a lot of different Twitters were really funny that day. I'll just say
Prince what's his face? Not the one who's going to become king. What's his name? Prince Harry, right?
Harry.
Yeah.
Wait, which one is Harry? Isn't Harry the redhead or no?
The younger one.
Yeah, he officially.
Oh, okay.
He officially became a turncoat today, apparently, I was reading.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He is now officially listed his home country as the United States of America.
L.
Crossed over. That's it. It's the beginning. It's the beginning.
Betrayed the throne.
Betrayed. Yep. The Revolutionary War continues.
Comrades.
Everyone talking. You got the right wingers obsessed with the Civil War. You got people worried about World War III, and then boom, out of nowhere today, Revolutionary War is back, baby.
Hell yeah. So down.
It's like the one time Americans get all like, yeah, USA.
It's the one time as a non-American I'm like, respect. Fuck up the British. Go for it. Y'all did good.
Yeah, the British has been, I'm disappointed in you all lately. I used to really respect you, except for what you call chips. But lately, you've been fucking up a little bit too much.
I mean, honestly, though, it's hard to complain when I feel like we're with some things. Obviously, Britain is number one on. For example, it will continue to be the number one in import export of turfs. So they got that.
Yeah.
They're finally.
But it's hard to knock any other country when the U.S. is vetoing the one country to veto the state of creating a state of Palestine that went to vote in the UN today.
Beyond fucked up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's while Biden is claiming that he supports a two-state solution.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, won't recognize one of the states.
Such a piece of shit.
Did you see that Ken Klippenstein reported on this, like, I think yesterday or the day before, where he was saying that they were apparently trying to use politics before vetoing? They were trying to convince other countries not to vote for statehood, and they were like, no. And they were so, like, not only was the United States going out of its way to veto this, they were going out of this way to try and campaign within the United Nations to be like, please don't recognize Palestine as a state. This is just going to make things more complex and worse in the Middle East, and it's not a good idea. Which, yeah, like the depravity, I mean, I don't know. This week has been really bad for covering, Gaza and Palestine in terms of news. It's just been repeatedly breaking me. I've been, especially, the striking of those kids in the refugee camp. Seeing that foosball table. I don't know if you just saw the footage came out on CNN. That was also really fucked up to look at.
Honestly, I've been avoiding some of that stuff because it's like I know what's going on there. I've seen enough already. I don't need to continue just seeing this fucking trauma. There are people that need to see it because they don't understand the issue. But I feel like if you know
like the
what
president,
the problem is,
I feel
I don't need to
maybe
expose myself to it. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe Joe Biden should have to Clockwork Orange style stay there 24/7, just looking at what exactly these policies are resulting in. I understand that. I understand that people have genocide fucking the I saw this cartoon the other day that was really well done. It was done like a mirror, equal on both sides, and had the person on the left basically at home watching these horrors and atrocities happening, and the person on the right having the horrors and atrocities happening.
I saw that,
the one on the left turns off the screen, and so then you can just walk and go outside while the person on the right is still living in it. And that's what I feel sometimes is happening. I'm honestly just genuinely shocked that after all the noise that was made directly after all of those aid workers were assassinated for lack of a better expression. There was suddenly what felt like this push. You saw Nancy Pelosi for the first time being like, things have gone too far. Jose Andres is my personal friend, and world leaders who normally in the West were like, I'm not going to talk about this, being like, that was pretty fucked up. It went from that to war with Iran in like a week. Where what happened to all the disgust and outrage and like the famine is still happening literally right now, like, but the pressure or all of a sudden all these politicians who for the first time grew a spine and were like, I'm ready to take a stand, and right now all of a sudden now it's just like, oh well, I mean, potential war with Iran is about to happen, so we gotta focus on that. That's where we're at now.
Yeah, that's a fun little few days of news and that was going on. Anyways, anything else? Anything different? We changed the topic.
Climate change.
Oh, wonderful. It only gets better.
I have something that's kind of fun. If you guys are interested, I
like fun stories.
Semi-fun. It's a little bit enraging, but there was a hearing. I don't remember which committee had this hearing, but it was on anti-Semitism on college campuses. It was really long, but there's one moment in there that I want to show you all that is so bizarre. A Republican asks the president of Colombia a particular question about the Bible, and it's so unhinged. So let me, I have it queued up. Let me share it really quickly. And by the way, David Doel had a great video about that I saw, that Ilhan Omar's daughter was like suspended.
That happened today, yeah.
Yes, that was it's crazy what happened at Columbia today. Just basically they called the police in to arrest their protesting students, mass arrests, and certain students who took part in the protests have been suspended, and one of those is, like, apparently David covered, Ilhan Omar's daughter.
So ridiculous.
Yeah, and they were just, it's all just like, it's an encampment. They set it up, I think, not last night, but the night before. And it's like a day later that Columbia sends in the police. Like, these are your fucking students doing a peaceful sit-in protest. And this is this is what you're doing. And it was also conveniently, like, I don't think these two were connected, because there were warnings sent to the students ahead of time. But conveniently, Ilhan Omar, the day before, was in a hearing criticizing the president of Columbia University over their treatment of Palestinian protesters. So, and then a day later, her daughter's suspended.
Yeah.
But
her questioning was great. We can watch that too. It's all in the same video. It's like a 3.5 hour long video. So this is the moment with the Republican, and then we can watch the Ilhan Omar portion if you want to. But let me just play this.
All right. In that degree program, I didn't research exactly what you teach, but are you familiar with Genesis 12:3?
Probably not as well as you are, Congressman.
Well, it's pretty clear. It was the covenant that God made with Abraham. And that covenant was real clear. If you bless Israel, I will bless you. If you curse Israel, I will curse you. And then in the New Testament, it was confirmed that all nations would be blessed through you. So you do not know about that.
I have heard that. Now that you've explained it, yes, I have heard that before.
It's now familiar. Do you consider that a serious issue? I mean, do you want Columbia University to be cursed by God of the Bible?
Oh my!
Definitely not.
Okay. Well, that's good. So here's the deal. We got freedom of speech in this country, and freedom of
sitting member of Congress.
I had not seen that, actually.
I haven't seen that.
Okay, so Mike, you got to juxtapose this with Ilhan Omar's, because you can see the difference between someone who wants to make sure she uses every second, like, I would like to reclaim my time. I'd like to reclaim my time style, because like it's important that I get the stuff on the record. For him, it's like, let me tell you about Bible quotes. Did you know about the Bible? And you're just like, so you're just killing time.
It amazes me, the people that are in government, like that guy takes the Bible literally.
Do you want Colombia to be cursed? Like, excuse me, sir?
That wouldn't be a good thing, you know.
Ask that? Like, what the fuck? She should have been like, yes,
she
I
should
do,
be
actually.
laughing in his face. Like that.
Yeah.
You can't. Like, God.
But you're trying to placate him. Oh yeah, I know about that. No, you don't. No, you don't. It's fine. You don't have to know about that. You're a normal person.
Unbelievable.
Well, she's not.
Well, comparatively speaking, you know, I mean, it's just so absurd. But this is the Ilhan portion. I think it's like 5 minutes, but really, really good line of questioning here.
Just for 5 minutes.
Thank you. President Shafiq, I wanted to get a clarification earlier. One of my colleagues asked you, have you seen anti-Muslim protests on campus?
I have seen, we have had pro-Israeli demonstrations on campus.
No.
But
Uh,
just
not
a protest that was
not-
against Muslims.
No, I have
you
not
seen one against Arabs?
No, I have not.
Have you seen one against Palestinians?
No, I have not.
Have you seen one against Jewish people? Have you seen a protest saying we are against Jewish people?
No, I have seen.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. There has been a rise in targeting and harassment against anti-war protesters because it's been pro-war and anti-war protesters is what it seems like, correct?
Correct. There has
Okay,
been.
thank you. Activists on campus, including Jewish students, Black and Brown, Arab and Muslim students. How many of the organizations that were canceled in Colombia involved Jewish students?
One of the organizations is called Jewish Voices for Peace.
Yes. And encompassed of Jewish students?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. There was there's been a recent attack on the democratic rights of students across the country. I was appalled to learn that in April, Colombia suspended and evicted 6 students for their involvement in the pro-Palestinian panel event on campus. It happened that all 6 students were arbitrarily targeted after the university brought in a team of private and former police investigators. These investigators harassed, intimidated Palestinian students at their homes, demanding to see students' private text messages and sent threatening emails to the leaders of those pro-Palestinian groups. I would like to ask you to speak a little bit more to this situation and ask you if you guys have utilized private former police investigators before, or is this the first time?
So this was a very serious case. We had students who on an online
If you could
call,
shorten your answer, that would be really appreciated.
of course, who invited people who were inciting violence, and that is unacceptable. And so we needed to get to the bottom of it. And so that's why we brought private investigators along with notifying
how
the
secure
FBI.
were you these students that you evicted and suspended were involved? Did you do any investigation? Was there a hearing?
They refused to cooperate with the investigation. And so until they do so, they are suspended.
Okay, thank you. And then in January, there was an incident involving students that were protesting that were attacked with a toxic chemical substance, leaving many hospitalized. A lot of them did not receive support from the school administrators. Can you speak to what is happening with the investigation, if you all are cooperating, and why weren't the students provided any support after they've experienced that attack?
So this is still with the police. And as far as we know, we think it was an odorous substance. And we did reach out to all of those students who said they were affected. Many of them didn't want support. We also
It took you guys more than 4 days to reach out to students.
No, I don't believe that's correct.
Okay, will you
actually.
respond, give me a written response with the fact that you all responded right away to those students?
Yes, I would be happy to do that.
All right, appreciate that. And it looks like there's been a lot of doxing and harassment that has taken place. What protections are a student being provided?
We created a doxing resources group to support students. There were many students who were affected by this, Muslim students, Jewish students, and completely, other students. That group has, we had 90 students reach out to that group to get support in terms of both technical support, legal support, privacy scrubbing, and so on.
And before I run out of time, I wanted to ask what do your rules say about professors that harass students online, like Professor Shai Davidar has done, and professors who directly attack you as the president as a coward and a liar?
So as president, I'm used to being attacked, but attacking our students is unacceptable. And in that case, we've had more than 50 complaints about that professor, and he is currently under investigation for harassment and
I would love a
discrimination.
follow-up on that as well. Thank you so much. I yield back.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And
that's
apparently,
how you hold someone
apparently, Columbia was like, "Here's your follow-up. Your daughter is suspended." I mean,
Yeah.
it is, you know, not, you know, it's hard to separate why out of all those students, her daughter would be one of three. I'm assuming Columbia will explain exactly why. And
well, it was, I think it was initially one of three. Then I read a New York Times piece that said in the afternoon, so Thursday afternoon, they then suspended all of them that were there. So
okay.
they expanded it for.
Hey, we're
reason.
getting a lot of shit for suspending the Congresswoman's daughter. What do we do? Suspend them all right? Suspend them all!
Basically.
Yeah. What else happened this
Unbelievable.
week?
I mean, why isn't the teacher suspended? Why is there just an investigation into him? Why is he afforded a benefit that all these students aren't, when these students are being punished for a moment in time? I believe what they did in a period of 24 hours. Yet these 50 complaints of a single professor has been over an elongated period of time. How long this investigation into the students was able to happen shortly after the actual event that they took part in took place, yet this professor's been harassing students for months now, and we're only at an investigation?
Very simply, he's not challenging power and they are. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh my God.
Where's Rebecca?
You know, I will say though that this will undoubtedly blow up in Columbia's face, this action. I'm going to make an educated guess here and say that a lot of people had not heard of the protests happening on Columbia's campus. They were unaware that there was this sit-in, this camp out, this occupying of Columbia's space. And a lot of people are now going to know about it because of how Columbia called the police in to brutalize their own students. And they're going to get a lot more support. And I would not doubt that the next action that takes place at Columbia is much larger due to this.
Yeah, people are saying, yeah, it's the Streisand effect. I'm not sure if you all saw another instance of the Streisand effect this week, but J.K. Rowling had a journalist, Rivka Brown, I think she's of Novaria Media. She was forced to tweet out, on this day, I called J.K. Rowling a Holocaust denier. That is inaccurate, offensive, and I apologize. So she's basically like, she's crying free speech, daring, Scotland to arrest her over their hate crime law when she's the one who's using her wealth and power to shut down other people's speech. But that was the most colossal backfire I've ever seen, because like that whole day, once that tweet was put out, yeah, the whole week, right? J.K. Rowling is a Holocaust was trending.
I was wondering why I kept seeing that. I'm like, I guess she denied the. I honestly thought, I guess she denied the Holocaust. Like I didn't know the reference point for that, so it worked. It worked on me.
She denied
thought she was a
aspects
Holocaust
of it.
denier.
You can,
there,
you can
well,
say
there
that.
we go.
Like, did you not see that, David, a while ago when JK basically?
I don't
tried to
follow
say
her
there
at
was-
all. I find her so fucking annoying.
But even like her popping up in other news, like so she basically came out and tried to say that it was a fever dream that the Nazis did book burning or targeted trans people, and people were trying to point out to her right away, like the Institute of Sexology, run by Dr. Magnus Hirschfeld, who Hitler called the most dangerous Jew in Germany, was basically a mass targeting of LGBTQ plus folk, including obviously trans people. I think the first person who ever received bottom surgery in like history had gone to that institute. And there was a trans woman who was either, because there are no records of this, either taken specifically by the Nazis and imprisoned and died in prison, or was executed that day of the book burning. So like it's a matter of historical record that the Nazis persecuted trans people, LGBTQ plus people, all that kind of stuff. And so she said it was a fever dream. She's like, what fever dream did you read about this? And then everyone was like, whoa, this is recognized in Germany as a form of Holocaust denial, right? Like, there's obviously a variety of ways to downplay or try to do apologia for Nazi war crimes. And like, there are people who try to say, well, is the official number of Jewish people actually accurate? That kind of stuff, right? And then there's other people who are like, well, the Nazis didn't target disabled people. Yes, they did. The Nazis didn't target Roma people. Yes, they did. They didn't target gay men. Yes, they did. Right? Like there's a lot of history of all of that. They targeted a lot of groups. So yeah, she made it famous. She did more work promoting that than I think anyone else.
Yeah, more people will know about that than ever before. So appreciate it, J.K. Rowling. And what I love is that she was so indignant too. Like when somebody told her about that, she's like, "You just say something like this without doing any research." It's like, Jesus, like you are so embarrassing. On top of that, other news with J.K. Rowling, she was saying something to the effect of like, "I won't forgive." Or I won't accept the apology.
I won't accept an apology. She wants an apology.
It's like they're not apologizing, motherfucker.
Yeah, she pre-rejected Daniel Radcliffe's apology. I was like, they didn't apologize to you though.
Yeah, and Emma Watson too, right?
And Emma Watson, you skip the step, Joanne. That's all I gotta say.
I mean, come on, like it's crazy because like she tweets like somebody who like is so alone, so miserable, but she lives in a castle, and maybe she is alone in her castle, but like, I mean, you have to log off. If you look at her Twitter timeline, it is all trans people. It's genuinely absurd. It makes me think that like she has to have some issues with gender dysphoria or gender issues herself, because like the only reason why you think about it this much is because like you're trying to prove to other people something. Like it reminds, like I don't know if necessarily the same as like homophobes tweeting like that.
Like an extreme addict to the rage bait. That could be that as well, right? Because like, there's a lot of people where they don't get any interaction outside of that world. Like
there has to be something going on. Like she has her fucking castle. Like why are you?
Yeah,
man. If I had the money that J.K. Rowling has, you would not fucking hear or see from me for the rest of my life.
She's
what
bored.
are you doing?
She's bored. That's the major factor.
Get some friends. Like what the fuck?
They're bored.
I mean,
they have no.
She could go on a vacation
no
immediately anywhere.
I saw some rando MAGA woman who's I don't know how much money she's got or anything, but she clearly in her photos at home looks bored throughout her day. She was complaining that she was calling it virtue signaling because people had left flowers at the mall where all those people were killed in that mall stabbing in Australia. She said it was virtue signaling. And these people are bored. That's what it comes down to. They're horrible people who are bored. And when you're a horrible person and you're bored, you do this stuff online because you're an idiot. And
but don't rich people like hunt humans for sport? Like not go on Twitter? Like isn't that the thing?
I mean,
like she should be eating caviar and like
there's so many things
fucking new coats and shit.
To be hunched over on Twitter when you're bored is the worst way to use your time.
Right. These people are demented.
Us plebs can
There's
do
something
that.
wrong. There's something wrong with these people that their life is spent obsessing over how others live, obsessing over the fact that others show understanding and empathy to other human beings. They can't understand it because they're bad people, but because they have nothing else going on in their life, instead of just doing, going to work or hanging out with their kids or their family, because they have nothing, their kids don't talk to them, or they never had any kids because nobody wants to talk with them to begin with, because they're horrible people, they're bored as fuck, and they have an outlet online to be pieces of shit because it passes the time. That is, I guarantee you, what 99% of these people explains 99% of what these people are. There's just.
But I mean, you
nothing
could
else.
be hateful and have a hobby. Like
and an island filled with everything.
The frequency that she is tweeting about trans people, like I don't know that there's been anyone in recent history that's been like as obsessed with LGBTQ plus people besides Matt Walsh. Like it's genuinely like startling to see how much she is tweeting about trans people. They live in her head rent free. Yeah, that's
but
true.
Like there's always been terrible people like this, but usually they just shut their mouth, or there was like, oh, they got caught in an interview and their true self came out. But that's not the case anymore with J.K. Rowling, for example. She's openly putting this out there. Or anyone.
They are same with Elon Musk. Like they're all just broadcasting it.
It's either A, they're bored, or B, they are so siloed in their little circles that they think this is the normal position to have. It's probably a combination of both, to be honest. And this is what's happening. You have Elon Musk thinking that normal people talk about a woke mind virus. You have J.K. Rowling talking about trans people every single day of her life. She literally talks about trans people more than any normal, regular, everyday citizen even thinks about trans people. She thinks about trans people more than trans people think about trans people.
Yeah, without question. It's so wild to me. Like that, I feel like transphobes in general, like I think they have brain damage, but hers is just so next level. Like I want somebody to like do a report on her brain and give us the details, because I mean, something is genuinely wrong with her. She's psychotic.
It'd be a good case study.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's crazy. She quote tweeted me one time, like when I called her a piece of shit. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I had like British TERFs in my mentions for weeks. They were calling me everything from like sexist to homophobe. Because I forgot what it was. I think that she was quoting a. Well, it's because of what I responded to. She quoted a doctor who's like some quack. He supports conversion therapy for gay and trans people, and I just responded like, "You're transphobic trash. You're a piece of shit." And because he also talks about gay people, they're like, "Oh, just this." You're a homophobe. You're going after him. He actually cares. It's like, bro, suck my dick. Like I can't, like, and it's so weird because like I feel like I got brain damage from that, because every single response that I got from her followers, and you could tell, like 2 weeks later, like, oh, you were mean to J.K. Rowling. I read it in a British accent, a bad British accent in my mind. It's like, oh my god, and it was just so fun because these people, like, they don't know who I am. They've never heard of me. It's not like, this is my audience who's like telling me I'm a piece of shit. Like, it's random people who are mad because I went after mommy, and so what she does is she'll like take a screenshot, so that way if you try to delete it, if you get like harassment or something, they genuinely could not care less. Like all of these little dipshit, like even if you look at on the subject of her being bored, so every once in a while she'll post like these get-togethers that she has with other TERFs. And it's like, a couple dozen people. And they look miserable. Like they all look like they hate their lives and that they're bored out of their minds at these events. Because it's like, what do you do at these events? It's like, oh, trans people are pretty bad. Yeah, trans people are actually doing a British accent. Yeah, don't you just hate trans people? Oh, they're terrible. Oh my god, just horrible. It's like, what do you like? You have to get a hobby. What are you doing?
We just need up to hate on people for who they are. It's incredible.
Yeah, like get it together. It's like a circle jerk of hate, and you're all bored out of your fucking minds. I don't know.
Can you give us
play video
games. Give us the British accent again, Mike?
It's so bad. It's such.
I thought it was pretty good.
It turns, if I speak it long enough, it becomes Australian. But it's trans people, they're quite.
I can't do Australian, so
I like how soft spoken it is. It's like a
I'm trying to do like the J.K. Rowling
terrible British. Yeah,
I just sound like an old British gay man.
Trying to do the fancy British accent, right? Because that's what J.K. Rowling, I guess, would. I don't know. What is
she's a little fucking wanker? No, that's a
Does she talk like that?
Posh is nasally. Like... You gotta have it up in the.
Oi, bruv!
Yeah, no, that's not.
That's a little more. That's the streets. That's the London streets.
Right.
What do they call gay people? Like the slur in Brit? Like what is it?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say it. I know what it is. It has the word bum in it, and then MER
Oh.
after. Yeah. Or
there's a different one.
There's also the one that has the word poof in it. And
Right, that's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
She was a little
Yeah, those
poof.
are the two slurs.
That
Yeah.
sounds so, it's so bad. I'm so sorry. I apologize to my
That's
British.
not bad. That's good. I'm laughing at how convinced
Honestly,
I am
all I'm
that
hearing
you
in
are
my head
British.
right now is Dick Van Dyke's chimney sweep accent. So, Oi, Mary Poppins!
I'm just taking the piss. I like that one too. I love it.
That's a good saying. You taking the piss.
The way
like
that I
that
would
saying. I'm
start
actually
when I was
jealous of it.
younger, I couldn't like reenact a British accent unless I did the whole "You're a wizard, Harry," and then from there I'd be able to talk.
You had to
Otherwise,
start
I
out with
couldn't
that.
like.
That's
my
your trigger
brain
for
wouldn't
it.
work. Yeah, I had to start that way.
I feel like I can't do an accent unless I hear someone's accent, then I can imitate it immediately. But I can't do it from like memory. It just doesn't. It never works out.
I mean, I should
It's
be
gotta
able to
be
do a British
spontaneous.
accent. I'm
Yeah.
partially British. I should be able to pull one off. You know,
You're
Try it,
partially
let's see.
British.
I am a lot
I feel
of
like every
things,
week
man.
I discover a new background that you have.
I'm
You're a
mutt,
Jewish,
man.
Italian, Brit. Like what the fuck else? Are you? Filipino? Like what else is in there?
No. Everything is squarely in Europe. It seems. I'm trying to think. Yes, Italian, English, Prussian, but Prussia's not a thing anymore. So but that doesn't. But I'm Prussian, which means I'm probably German, Ashkenazi Jew, and that's it. That's everything. It should be everything.
What a combination,
Unless I gotta do a 23andMe or something and find out what else I could possibly be.
You should do that.
Mine is very simple. I'm just Portuguese and then a little bit of Spanish. That's it. Very simple, easy peasy, boring.
I think I'm what they call white.
Yeah. I'm not white. I'm German. Like everybody in the I'm Irish. Like they don't say white. I'm this kind of white, but not white. That's I don't know. I feel like everybody does that. Like, what are you? I'm like Irish, German, and British.
Yeah, I remember growing up in the schoolyard. People were always like, "Well, what's your background?" Or "What are you?" It's like, "Oh, I'm Portuguese, Italian." It was all a bunch of European people.
Yeah,
basically.
it's just a variation of white.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody said that my name sounds Italian. A lot of people say my name sounds Italian. Anytime I would go to meet a new professor or meet someone new, it's like, "Oh, Figueredo." Like, nope, not Italian.
No,
not
it's
Italian.
As somebody who is Portuguese, it is Portuguese. I can
Right,
tell.
yeah. There's a lot of people in Brazil and Portugal with the last name of Figueiredo.
Portuguese.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Exactly.
I could see why somebody would say that it's Italian. If you don't know any better, But now my last name is the Serfs.
I thought you were a fellow Italian myself. But I had another person to feel that Italian shame with right here on
Italian shame. What are you shameful for?
Mamma mia. Let's go. I don't think Rebecca's joining us tonight. It doesn't seem like that's the case.
I think she's working again. Yeah.
I got a new Trump clip. I'm not sure if anybody cares anymore. We're all
I
bored of
do.
him, but
If he's saying something funny.
I don't know. I laughed at this.
It's a shame. It's a shame. And I'm sitting here for days.
Is he talking about being Italian?
Wait, you're gonna miss it. This is the funny part.
Oh, okay. I can't hear it though. It's really low. Can you go any louder?
It is low, but I can't do anything about that.
All right, start at the beginning, and I'll put my volume all the way up for my
It's
own.
a shame. It's a shame. And I'm sitting here for days now, from morning till night, in that freezing room. Freezing. Everybody was freezing in there. And all for this, and this is your result. Look at that. Each one of them a story. And it's very unfair. Very bad thing. Very bad thing. The whole world is watching this hoax.
That's the whole thing. The room was very cold. He's running out of shit to complain about. It's freezing in there. So it's something definitely like an elderly person. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. But I just think of my mom. Oh, it's so cold in here. It's like, yes, this is a normal temperature room. It's freezing.
What was it that he was saying? Jon Stewart had a clip of him saying something about Gettysburg. I don't remember exactly what he was saying, but it was really funny. It was like, "Oh wow," or something like that. I could try to find the clip.
Jon Stewart was great this week.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
Iran, Israel. I saw the clip. Really great segment. Just basically. I mean, I think I want you to go watch it. He's been really great since he's come back. It really, you know how they say you don't know what you got till it's gone. I mean, I realized that when Jon Stewart was gone, the Daily Show wasn't as good. But you really don't realize what you've lost until they come back after being gone for so long. Because now I'm really appreciating how good he is. I mean, he is the best conduit for bringing fairly left-wing ideas into a mainstream audience. He's really good at it. His politics are as good as you can expect from someone who has that immense audience and influence that he has. I tremendously respect the guy more than ever now, honestly.
He's great.
Yeah, and he's not missed a beat. Like he is exactly where he left off. Like he has not lost anything. Like he's as sharp as he ever was. The writing is as good as it ever was. Like it's fantastic.
Someone in the chat, I don't know who, Tim just said, I want to appreciate Jon Stewart, but I'm afraid he'll turn out to be a Zionist. Have you watched Jon Stewart on he's clearly, listen, again,
even before he left, he wasn't.
Yeah. He's always been really good on this issue. I don't know if he's a guy who is someone who believes that the state of Israel should not exist or it should be a one-state solution. But this is clearly a guy who thinks Israel is not the good guys in this scenario, and he has tremendous empathy for the Palestinians who are experiencing this and the Palestinian cause. Honestly, I mean, but
I'd say he's the only person on mainstream TV that you'll hear say a sentence, because his latest thing that Matt's talking about was really good at the very end, where he's like, okay, so here was the deal, and this goes to all the countries in the Middle East. When we and other, nation states were drawing your borders, the deal was that we would do this, and then in exchange, you give us your sweet, delicious oil, and in turn, you give us more oil, and that was supposed to be the whole deal. So what's going on here? And I was like, you don't hear a lot of people actually just straight up say that on, TV. I don't know. I think he's good.
I don't know if he's got an even further left wing, or it just so happens.
I think he has. It feels like he has.
That's possible, or it could just be that the timing of him coming back right during all of this. I mean, and he seems like a guy who has a pretty clear side on these issues. But either way, I mean, I think he's better than ever. He is on fire right now.
Have you watched The Daily Show when he's not hosting it, like recently?
No.
Because I have, and it is not even close to the same as John's. Like, I know I gave it a try because he's the executive producer, I believe, when he's not hosting it. It doesn't even come close. Like, I watched one with Jordan Klepper. I watched one. There's another guy with brown hair, white guy. It's just so dull. And like, there's jokes in it, but they don't really land. It's more hacky. Like Jon Stewart, like he pulls no punches. There's a quality about him that's just like so unique. He's irreplaceable. Like it's don't watch it unless he's hosting. It's
also almost unfair to those comedians, because a lot of them they're talented, they're great, but this is Jon Stewart's show. Like you're always going to be compared to him, no matter how good you may be.
Even when Trevor Noah was there for years, I was like, this guy's still doing Jon Stewart's show.
yeah.
The writing just I tried to watch a bit when he was doing it, and it was very just like MSNBC. Like
he was very
shallow analysis. It was just super like the issue for me was really like the writing. It wasn't even just necessarily like him. It was just like it was very mainstream is what it was.
Yeah, his delivery was fine. It's just the content itself, like the substance was not there. He was just a straight up lib. And it showed, always criticizing Trump, never criticizing Democrats. I mean, to be fair, he did once in a while to the extent that I saw it, but I checked out pretty quickly. I gave him a chance, and not very good. I do have the clip of Trump. I don't know if this is the same one that I was referring to, but this is from the same rally, I believe, and it's of him just saying stupid things. So
this recent?
Some of this. This is recent. I think this was last week, I want to say.
It's where the Army weathered its brutal winter at Valley Forge, where General George Washington led his men on a daring mission across the Delaware, and where our Union was saved by the immortal heroes at Gettysburg. Gettysburg, what an unbelievable battle that was, the Battle of Gettysburg. What an unbelievable, I mean, it was so much and so interesting and so vicious and horrible and so beautiful in so many different ways. It represented such a big portion of the success of this country. Gettysburg, wow.
You could pluck me out of bed today and drop me into a quantum physics class, which I know exactly.
Wow. Amazing.
He sounded a little bit drunk there. He was like slurring his words a little bit.
He does that a lot now. Like he slurs a lot of during his. I mean, I guess to be fair to him, he speaks for like 4 hours. He just goes on, and like if I'm up there for 3 hours, I'm slurring words. I slur words sometimes in my 10-minute videos. So it's just
same, yeah.
It just, yeah.
But, who would want to watch that? Like, I don't care what politician you put in front of me. 3.5 hours, sometimes 4 hours.
It's so boring. I was reminded recently. I don't know why I thought of this, but when Trump was running in 2016, those two guys those two comedians that like talk to right wingers, I forget their names now, but they were posing as like Trump supporters at a Trump rally, and during one of his rallies when he's going on like his spiel, they're just like boring. I heard this already. You need some new material. And that's what goes through my head now when I see Trump do these speeches. Like, oh, he's doing this fucking bit again. It's just the same. It's like he's a comedian who hasn't had a new bit in like 8 years.
Yeah,
he's just going off the same material.
In 2015 and 2016, though, that was like he was on fire then. Like, you say what you want about his politics, obviously, and I believe we say that, but I'm talking about his delivery and his weirdness and the entertainment factor, I guess. The dude was off the charts then. He's no longer in his prime. He's definitely going. He's definitely losing it.
Yeah.
Here, I found the clip I was talking about. This is what I was talking about. It's The Good Liars.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is great.
This is boring.
We're bored.
Tell some jokes. This is
something. Entertain us.
This is boring.
Come on.
So, very important.
We're bored.
This is. Are you serious? This is boring.
This is boring. We came here to be entertained.
This is boring.
I'm so bored.
I love you, but this is really boring.
Donald, you're boring.
Boring.
Boring. Boring.
That's brilliant. Because it's a comedian doing the same material. I mean, to be fair to him, I guess he's doing new material about him stealing the election and or not. No, it was stolen from him. I mean, so that's his material now.
But he is trying to steal it.
That's right.
Speaking of comedians, somebody said earlier that Ole and Walter Masterson collaborated.
Ole went on Masterson's show.
Oh.
Yeah, Masterson has like an interview show. So yeah, pretty dope.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I had Masterson on my show a couple years ago. It was very, very good. That was during the COVID era, after he was trolling the Canadian truckers. And he does this thing where he'll give them a microphone to talk into, but then he'll switch it. So like he was having an anti-vax expert talking to a corn dog. She didn't realize it. And then with the Canadian truckers, he switched the microphone for a Tim Hortons cup, and they were speaking into the Tim Hortons cup. Yeah, he's a genius. So everybody should follow Walter Masterson.
We're getting a breaking report from ABC News. Israeli missiles have hit a site in Iran, a U.S. official says.
Are you fucking kidding me?
That's why I haven't been talking for the last little while. I was like, I don't know when to interject here, but all the breaking news is showing right now that
I thought that they weren't going to do it because Biden said they can invade Rafah. Like I thought that was that he made like a deal, but they still did it anyway, and they're still going to invade Rafah. Okay,
they're going to fucking do whatever they want because they know Biden won't do shit. That's clearly what other example has Biden given them? Like we can do whatever the fuck we want.
Zero repercussions for their actions.
Yeah, there's.
It does not affect weapon sales or shipments or aid or anything. So why change course in any way, shape, or form?
And this is after they claimed that the embassy was a miscalculation or something. Like, oh, it was just an oopsie. We made a mistake. Like, shut the fuck up. I'm just so sick of hearing anything from them. It's pointless because they're just lying nonstop. I'm trying to find a story on this.
ABC News is reporting on it. Ken Klippenstein has confirmed it. Spectator Index is saying that it's at an airport so far. The strikes that have actually landed. Take Spectator Index with a grain of salt. But Ken Klippenstein is obviously always on this shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm waiting for every world leader to in tow condemn the actions of attacking the sovereign nation, which probably are going to arrive any minute now.
Yeah. Instead of our world leaders are condemning people, condemning or not condemning Iran. That's what I think John Fetterman posted. Like, what are we doing here? How do you not condemn this terrorist state? It's like, motherfucker, we're the terrorist state. Israel's the terrorist state. Shut the fuck up. I'm so sick of these politicians. They're just so insufferable, so fake, so like obnoxious with their apologia for a genocide right now. I don't know how they sleep at night.
Yeah.
On a bet of money. And they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they don't. Like, I feel like they're
you could not pay me. You could not pay me enough money for me to fucking do what like Fetterman's doing. Like, are you fucking no? Like, why?
Or John Kirby or fucking any of them.
Yeah. I don't know how they turn off that part of their brain where they're like feeling shame.
Yeah.
Karine Jean-Pierre, she was like critical of Israel beforehand. Like, she was the progressive on MSNBC. She I don't know specifically what she said, but she criticized Israel. And I think she called it apartheid. I'm not 100% sure. I'm paraphrasing, but she was critical. And now she's like, the chief propagandist, for the country. It's so sick. How do you do this? It makes no sense. Like, how can a human being be okay with like 30,000 human beings just being indiscriminately murdered, and you're like not only just saying nothing, but you're like doing apologia for it and making excuses for it? It makes no sense. No amount of money could ever get me to sink that low.
The scary thing too is that this conflict is clearly trying to distract people from their operations in Gaza, right? Like, I'm not saying that's the only purpose for them wanting to strike Iran in the first place, but like, this is what is literally dominating the discourse now. Everyone's like, World War III? Oh, what? Well, let's talk about that. And then it's like, well, the starvation thing still happening. Right. That hasn't been fixed. We haven't solved that problem. We're still waiting for it.
Yeah, there's a professor that said he had a pretty good theory. Let me find his tweet actually, so I don't misquote him. But he kind of explains why he thinks Israel did this. It's speculation, but what he said makes sense. Hopefully, I could find it.
Why isn't it more outlets reporting this though? It's a bit weird.
Yeah.
Well, it probably just happened. I want to confirm.
I mean, ABC has been running with it now for a little while now, and nothing's been updated anywhere else. I mean, I believe it. I'm just wondering why no one's touching it.
Okay, so this
trying
is
to find the right angle, maybe.
Yeah, right. How do we spin this?
Yeah.
Well, ABC's already done a good job here with Israel retaliates against Iran.
Oh, they retaliated.
Retaliated.
I guess if
unfucking believable.
Israel retaliates against Iran's retaliation. I mean, if you want to keep going, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. So this is the first strike from. It's chaired by Branko Marcetic, but this is from Professor Sultan Barakat. So the goal of Netanyahu was to striking Iran was to extend the status of the war, and with it, the emergency rules that keep him in power for now by reminding everyone that Iran will retaliate as a threat. He's also managed to silence the little criticism that's had started to come from Washington concerning his operations in Gaza. It's very unlikely that anyone there will say anything against Israel over the coming few days. He's also going to accelerate the delivery of the weapons that Biden has promised, including the critical F-35 jet fighters. Critically, he is also going to silence the opposition within his own country. He will stop the right of demonstrations on the basis that Israelis are all under the threat of Iran. So I think that makes a lot of sense to me. Rebecca.
Hi.
Rebecca.
Hey.
Look who decided to join us. Yeah.
Perfect timing.
She's going to come in with 20 minutes left, collect her super chats, and be on her way.
No, I'm just here. Like, I am so sorry, guys. I'm so late. I had work late, and then I felt like, my hair was all over the place. I had to throw it in a bun, And then
Oh, it's
I
no
had a phone
Take some
call
you time.
thank you.
Yeah, I love your TLC shirt, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I had to just throw something
Love it.
on. Thank you.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing? I'm sorry. Thank you for bringing me in after he read. I don't even know what y'all was talking about. My bad.
Sad stuff.
We're just like half in shock at the fact that we're apparently news strikes by Israel and Iran right now. So we're kind of all just like looking at the news live and being like, oh, so it looks like war things are happening. Not good. Nothing good. Not good.
Interesting though that there's airstrikes in Iran, and then after that news breaks, Rebecca just shows up. Where were you a few minutes ago? Flying
Don't even
Israeli
try.
aircraft by any chance?
Listen, don't even try. I wouldn't be striking Iran, but there's so much with that I don't know much about, but I know the covering of it. I remember when they first started talking about it a few days ago, where they were on our favorite, my favorite, Instagram pages, websites to look at, get news on. When Iran was struck, there was not much news. But as soon as, they was like, Israel, what's up? Israel, what's up?
Yeah.
And that's when I started seeing all of my favorite pages cover it and saying that Israel was attacked, all that kind of stuff. And I was just like, dang, that's so crazy why they haven't. And I went to go read articles, and they're not talking about how this started.
Not only did Israel strike Iran in Damascus, they also damaged Canada's consulate that was right next door. But no Canadian politicians spoke about it. They weren't like, we strongly condemned Israel damaging one of our embassies. Nothing, just radio silence until you just said. Then once the attack happened on Israel, all of a sudden all the politicians in tow were like, we strongly condemn this attack. It's horrifying. Horrible.
Yeah, and that's all you're hearing. That's all you're seeing. Like I said, shade room. Just I feel like I'm always there. For what reason? Because it's always people are sending me stuff from there, but that ain't why. But even there, you think that when they're covering this, when they're talking about this, they're going to cover it correctly, and it was very one-sided. And I went to other pages, even some mainstream news media pages, and they were doing the same thing. It was very much one-sided. And I looked a couple of days prior, somewhere in there, if they had any of any news of the Iran strikes, and there was just nothing. So I had to get that from the streets.
The one-sidedness is deliberate. There was a report from The Intercept about the New York Times, how they have instructed their international editors to not use words like genocide, ethnic cleansing. I think they're not allowed to say occupied territories. I think they can't even say Palestine, or they should use it as little as possible. Just straight up bias. And you can already tell that was the case just by looking at it. But then The Intercept also did a really good qualitative analysis of, I think, more than 1,000 articles from the New York Times, other really big outlets, the Washington Post, and the language that they used when they talked about Palestinian deaths versus Israeli deaths was completely different, right? Like when they talked about Israeli deaths, it was much more emotive words and whatnot. But when they talked about Palestinians, it was more vague. It's like, okay, strike kills Palestinians. They don't say who. It's so frustrating because it kind of feels like we're being gaslit, and they think that they're fooling us, but they're not. I feel like everybody kind of sees through it. It's really depressing to see.
It is. No, it's depressing, but it's also, it's alarming that it's not shocking, but it just sucks that they are muting the actual news, like removing it and making people just go with this one storyline, which is not something that is new. We've seen this the way they've been covering, with Gaza and Israel and all this other stuff. That's how they were covering it before. That's how they cover other stuff. But now we're privy to it, right? We can see, we can get people who are on the ground, who can actually have these conversations, in the spaces like, unfortunately, but Twitter, all these other places where we can get video, we can get sound, we can get those journalists who are, who aren't allowed to tell their stories on mainstream media. They can come and tell us what's actually happening, and that's where I'm been getting my stories from. The pages that have the most followers for specifically like the Black community, they're going to go with this one-sidedness because this is where they need to go. So it bothers me that the people who don't go to the news, they come here, they're going to get this one-sided story. So all of them are saying, now why they going over there striking Israel? And people are saying like, in the comment section, some people are like, but do you guys know that they struck Iran first? And they're saying that's not true. Then a whole bunch of people from Israel now in the Shade Room page saying, that is not true. Israel has been attacked.
Really?
Always, yes.
Oh,
yes. And I'm like, see, now we inviting people from around the way, and that they fighting us, and it's terrible because now they're giving misinformation. They're fighting. It's just all. This is what misinformation brings. It's just nobody.
Right.
It's like. No one has the truth, yet the truth is right there. Somebody tells them this is the truth, and they're like, that's not true. That's not true. I live in Israel, and this is what it's, and I'm like, see, this is the problem. Israel they're so powerful that people really are going to believe that they're the ones that were struck first, and now they have to strike back, and now another war is going to happen, or whatever the case may be. And this is because Israel must protect themselves. But you're not hearing that Iran is protecting themselves. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Well, and what Iran did is, they gave them advanced notification. They sent slower, like they didn't use cruiser
target
missiles,
military locations.
Right.
It was
targeted
military location. You
could tell that they did it because they had to respond for purposes of domestic legitimacy. Say we're strong, let everyone know we did what we needed to do. We defended ourselves. And then as soon as that happened, they're like, we're done. We consider this concluded. But Israel, the goal is to try to provoke another response or as many responses as they can, because if they were able to pull the United States into a broader regional war, that would really be beneficial for Netanyahu. It wouldn't be beneficial for anyone else. But like, so long as there's this predicament, like he's not gonna call for an election. He's not like he's gonna be in power because of this war. So he has an interest to prolong it as long as possible, stay in Gaza as long as possible. It's just really, it's such a dark time. And the fact that like our government is just cool with this, the one of the horrible like long-term consequences of this is that, I mean, already international law wasn't necessarily, people choose to, abide by it. When I say people, I mean countries. They choose to abide by it when they want to and then disregard it when they don't. But I mean, this is going to be like really damaging to international law. The United States is going to have no legitimacy on the world stage because, I mean, you just a couple of years ago, you were talking about international law and how, you can't use starvation as a weapon of war and you can't be, just taking over territory to Russia. But when it comes to Israel, no, actually, it's fine. They're everything is copacetic.
The goalpost always moves for certain countries, and that's
exactly.
We see that all the time. They switch the language. They'll switch policy so quick. Policy that been stuck some kind of way, they'll switch it quick just so they can, apply and damage and say this is policy and this is why, and this, to make excuses. And we see that very often, but that's why I think it's important for people to have these conversations and the people who are on the ground to, if they can, continue to push the truth out, because we're going to constantly get from United States will look at us in the eye and just lie and tell us to go with it. And so,
and like, I remember during the Trump administration, Democrats talking about how dangerous Trump was on the international stage because he doesn't uphold international law or international norms. And now what? Does that, none of that stuff matter anymore? Does the respect of, the U.S. internationally not matter anymore? Like, exactly.
CNN's reporting on it too, by the way. It's not just ABC anymore.
Oh, CNN now too. So it's okay. Oh, they're trying every single time it's close to the weekend. Israel's like, you were gonna. Well, I guess last time that was when Iran struck it, but it's like each weekend we have to deal with like an international crisis. Like, let's get one weekend where we're okay, where we're not.
I'm seeing from, this is Telesur saying it's Iran, Syria, and Iraq. We're all hit.
Don't surprise me. Americans, don't go to war. Don't join in, please.
Now America don't stay out of nobody's business. Don't you have enough problem? They will literally hop on. Israel said what? Okay, yeah, and it sucks. It sucks that it's like that. And then here, I hope I pray that we don't wake up tomorrow and it's the whole, America is getting ready to just, put themselves in
It
people's
moves
business
so
again.
fast. People just online too. Everyone just all of a sudden like, wait, are you a traitor? Are you a traitor to the cause? Come on, this is like, it's happening. We're doing this. Oh dear God.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to imagine Joe Biden winning an election. By the way, if we go to war,
It's getting worse. If he,
it's over. It's over.
No,
Like,
war
just
with Iran means he's toast.
And then I also mentioned this on my stream the other night. We were sold. Obviously I knew that Biden would be bad on foreign policy, but
he was good. He lowered drone strikes. He got out of Afghanistan. Drone strikes went like this. It was, for a while, that was my argument. I was like,
that was surprising. But my thing is, the whole selling point to defeat Trump is that he's going to somehow, with his foolishness and his wild card antics, get us into a war. But that's what's going on right now. Joe Biden, because he refuses to stand up to Israel, and he wants to stay lock in step with Israel, and refuses to draw any red lines and put any money where his mouth is, he's going to end up getting us into a war. And at that point, who fucking cares? To me, there is no big difference then between Donald Trump and Joe Biden when it comes to foreign policy. Who gives a fuck if Trump bumblefucks his way and slips on a banana peel into war, and Joe Biden just follows Israel into war? It's the same shit. We get war. I mean,
I don't care who the president is, you get war. And people, if Joe Biden decides to join in, it's done. We already, or people really did. Like, it really affected him. With how he handled Gaza and how people view him and how people really pulled their votes to show him something what that would look like. And it did something. So let this happen. People are really going to look at him like, really? Like, what? Israel has that much power that you can't, y'all, the administration, can't really come together and really just be like, let's not, we're going to sit this out. But we already know, like, I already see how this could go. And I can see how people on the right are going to take it. They're going to say, God bless Israel, and forget about everybody else. And anybody else, we already know. Those countries, they already have them tagged historically as terrorists. So we already know how that's going to go, what it's going to look like, on social media, and the talking points that are going to come out, and how we need to support, pray for, and supply weapons to Israel. Like, I hope that it doesn't go that way, but this is literally textbook. So
I mean, currently in Congress, they're trying to give more money to Israel. The foreign aid package includes Ukraine, Taiwan, some aid money to Gaza, and of course, lots of money to Israel. So it's
meanwhile,
crazy.
We hungry over here. We got student loans. People can't afford housing. Food is high, but they're gonna go ahead and start giving people weapons and giving them money and all kinds of stuff to kill people.
Yeah. It's really fucked up. And we've got like what is it? So it's April. Election is, it's far away, but it's not too far away when you think about it. He's still losing in swing states. Like, nationally, he's ticking up in the polls, but that doesn't matter. Winning the popular vote is not how he becomes president again. So he's going to lose. And I think that he could still win if he were to immediately stop supporting Israel, cut off weapons, but he's just not willing to do that. He is literally willing to throw away his re-election chances and the country just to support this fascist in Israel. And Netanyahu wants him to lose, so I just.
And then he's gonna put out a TikTok video tomorrow, and to try. This is literally this is what we see. I hate that this is happening because and the way again that it's being publicized is not. Like, if I would have stuck with not knowing and not going to go get the information and not reading up on what actually happened, I would have really been like, damn, they really went out there and bombed Israel. Like, now why? now you see what I'm saying? So people are going to really, I'm telling you, we're going to see an influx of that as this story continues to develop. The talking points that they had last year when it came to Gaza, we're going to see that coming up, and it's going to it's going to be, I hate it. When will it stop? I don't know, but America is definitely, I don't see America not getting involved in some type of way. So.
And there's going to be, you're right, Rebecca, there's going to be spin.
It easily can stop if the United States of America just said stop it to Israel, but they won't do it. Like it's that simple. It's that simple.
Yeah, somebody said, I think it was Christina in the chat, said that Al Jazeera is now reporting on it, as well as the strikes in Syria and Iraq as well. So they're going buck wild in the Middle East. Thanks, Christina.
Okay. So again, I came in late. What else? How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? What's going on?
In a quiet stream, everyone's kind of, I don't know.
I know. Yeah. I had energy at the start. I am fatigued now.
Yeah, no. Oh, you fatigued, David?
I'm scared.
I know. It's about that time. It's about that time. I know.
Oh, well, yeah, that too. But just generally, I'm fatigued.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm super exhausted myself. I'm tired. It's been, I don't know. It's just giving tired for everyone.
I need like a legitimate like vacation, though. I don't want to fly anywhere right now. for many reasons. Because of Boeing, because of the shit going on in the world. Like I don't want to risk flying anywhere. But I just need like, to turn my phone and computer off for like a week. That'd be nice.
Yeah, no, I get it. I definitely get it. I wish I could do.
How have you been, Rebecca?
Me, I'm okay. Like I'm hanging in there, right? I'm hanging in there. I was late because I had a longer meeting. I told you guys last week that they want me to go back into the office, so I had a talk with my manager again about it today. And she made a comment which lets me know that she watches me. Like she watches me. I never told her what I do, but I know the other people in office know what I do, and yeah, she watches.
And we love management here on the Leftist Mafia.
Right. Look, that's out. But she doesn't like me much. They don't like me much because the conversations that I have with some of the clients, I'm a little rebellious. I've told you guys that at the job. And so she said to me, I ain't scared of nobody, but she said to me, and she said, she's like, you must have something else lined up for you, because at this point it's, and I'm like, what? Say it. What you trying to say? She's just like, you're just not, mind you, the job isn't difficult at all. I do it to the best of my ability. I mean, I think I'm really good at it. I've gotten high numbers. I'm always hitting where I need to hit. But when I don't, the one moments that I don't, or whatever the case may be, they make it a big deal for me specifically. But she's basically saying like, the time is ticking for you, because I feel like you think I'm like some kind of liability, because how I give a lot of the clients opportunities to get out of some kind of issues that this company puts them in, and they don't like it. She says that I don't try hard enough to
fool people into staying.
Yes, those type of things. Like I don't do that.
Starting to crack the code.
Yeah,
you're a little too human, Rebecca.
So,
we need more of a sociopath out of you. Yes,
and I'm like, I'm not. First of all, I'm not robotic. I am human, and I understand what the person on the on the other side is feeling, whether it's an email, whether it's a call, whether it's whatever. A lot of times, especially in times that we're living in, I don't care if this person is lying to us. The type of conversation I'm going to have with this person is going to be a human one, and I'm going to find an actual solution. There's no keyword. There's no trigger word that can be like ding 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 ding. You said the trigger word. Now I can definitely assist you and help you. Whatever. No. So she had the conversation with me, and I did some pushback on her. She did not appreciate that. I don't get crazy. She didn't like that I kind of laughed when she was just like, so you must have something else, you must be a big timer somewhere else. Like that I don't like that. She said that to me. I don't like when people talk down on me like that too. I don't like when people talk to me crazy. So that kind of bothered me a little bit, but I kind of, took that, just brushed it off. And I just told her, listen, you can't talk to people like that. Your tone It's not the best. That to her was absolutely outrageous that I said that. I said, your tone is just not the best. And, you know, you don't know what people may be going through. So when you're talking to someone and assuming that they're just being a certain type of way, you don't know why somebody may need this job. You don't know why. You can't just talk to people like that. You just, that isn't right. So I said, so in order for me to continue this conversation with you, because I think I'm done with it, you have to, your tone. And she was like, oh, honey, okay, all right, cool. So I think that we understand where we are with this conversation. And I was like, I don't really know, but I just can't continue with it because of your tone. And I went on to finish my workday. And that was it. Because I don't got
That was today?
That was today.
Wow.
And so, you know, it's okay though, because I know that whatever happens is fine. But I just know that I don't care where I'm at. I don't care if I'm working for the best of the best. You know, I'm always going to present myself. The rebellion may come at a cost of the job or whatever, but I've been here for a few years, but I don't like the way they function. And I have made emails. I've sat with the head. I went above manager. I had these conversations, sat in these rooms, and I told them that their process is scammy. Their processes are hurting people. I laid it out for them. You know, I even gave them an option of how to do it correctly with informing people, you know, before putting them on these type of programs that either assist them with what they have going on or not. Like I did a lot of that, and they were just like, no, we're going to continue to fool people and those type of things. And I can't do that. And I've watched them create this type of system. Like I said, I've been here for years, and they don't like that I've called it out. I even was pulled to the side and said that, why did I say that in front of one of the execs at the meeting? So, you know,
you can't make them feel bad. You're pointing out the point where it's like, where like you are acknowledging the things they are doing to people that would be considered not healthy for them. Yeah. And they don't like that you are acknowledging those things. They rather those things not be acknowledged, and they continue about their day and do their business, but you are pointing it out, and they don't like that.
Oh, they hate it. And what I see, and I think is I see what it's doing to people, and particularly the people that we work with. And as soon as I'm out, I promise you guys, I'm gonna name they name like nobody's business. But
maybe they're watching right now. They're gonna, oh shit, we can't let her leave.
Right. Let's give her a raise.
Listen, as soon as they listen, I got it. I got y'all. I'm gonna let y'all know who it is. And y'all already, you know, people who know early on from Like It or Not, y'all probably, you know whatever. But once they had me sign something, so I can't really say nothing. But as soon as I'm out of there, I promise you, because you guys won't believe how the systems, what they're putting together, the type of words, the money that they make off of people. And because I'm just not comfortable with that, because I know who they're targeting. And I can say this because I haven't said their name. They're targeting specifically minority groups and like immigrants. So that bothers me to my core. And they put fear in them, even though they try to set them up on things saying, this will help you, this will help you, this will help you. These people who put their all into their businesses, because I work with these different businesses as well, like they will kind of like threaten them. And then don't let none of your stuff be connected to these people, because they're going to go get it. They will clear you out. They will clean you out. They will clear you out for whatever. They don't care. And
it sounds almost like legalized, like a legalized scam. Like the kind of people that would like call your grandmother and be like, yes, oh, I'm your son, I'm in jail, I need $20,000. But this is like legal.
It's legal, and it's one of the biggest companies. So you wouldn't even think that they're doing something like this behind the scenes. This is like the one that everybody would go to. This is their bread and butter. This is like, this is that place. And I can't wait to tell y'all. And
you better watch out. They probably got you on an NDA where you can't say shit.
No, I looked at it. So I with them, they told me when I first got there, I had to go by another name because of what I do. So they found me. And so I said, that's straight. Listen, I go by another name with the company. So wow. With that, yeah. And because I did put them on Front Street few years ago, causing them to change one of the policies that they had. So at the time, because it was affecting people during COVID. And I was like, I will not stand for this. I was like, I know it's just me, but I know I have a little platform and I will not stand for this. So I'm going to take it to the internet and make a deal about it. And then they changed up what they were doing, even though they still made a lot of money off of people, but they were changing up what they were doing because people were getting affected and still charged and all this kind of stuff. And it was unacceptable. It was very much unacceptable. But shoot, one day it's coming. Don't worry.
Well, here's what I will say. A lot of NDAs are not actually enforceable. And if need be, we will call up Matt Brunig, and he will file complaints with the NLRB. So if you're watching, we have power too. So.
Exactly. Thank you guys. Look, I be telling them like
worker power.
Don't play with me. Listen, I give you guys grace here. And the way that I speak to you guys here, I just do my job and I leave. And here's what they try to throw at me. Okay, you work from home. So we got you need to be producing more than the people who are in office. And I'm like,
it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, but that's how
you're costing them less. You're not taking up office space and shit.
They're like, it's a privilege.
Yeah, they should be paying you more. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And I give them more work. They said it's a privilege for me to work from home, even though I told them I'm not going back into that building. It's not good for me mentally. And I work very effectively at home. And it allows me to be like in places like here to do my Saturday show, to do things in between, and I don't like that, but they know what I do. So they kind of like, they'll say things like, she needs to be in office, kind of like they know to keep me away from, to make it hard for me. The conversation that we had, it was almost like she's like picking at me without saying it. And she said, other people in the office, she said this is my manager, y'all. I kid you not. This conversation she had with me. She said, other people in the office, they know about you. And I said, well, what exactly do they know? What's going on? Like, I would love to know.
What the? Sounds like a threat.
Yeah. And mind you, I was promoted to this position. I didn't ask to be in this position or whatever. They promoted me because they said I worked so great in the previous position. Mind you, this promotion came with not a dollar more, not a penny more.
That ain't no promotion.
Oh,
exactly.
Promotion.
Exactly.
Wow.
It was some makeshift team they threw me on where they can continue to scam people. And I hate it. I hate it so much. And they knew I hated it when I got there. I told them I hated it. I told them this is not real. You guys don't even have a process. There's no structure. What are we doing? What words how are we doing this? And then it's just like, it's terrible. She said to me on the same phone call, because there were a lot of things that she said that I let her run with too, a little too long. But she also said to me on the same phone call, she said, well, I don't know, but this, I don't care what you do. If you don't communicate with me moving forward, I can, what did she say to me? I can write this in as you not actually working. And I said, what you talking about? Like, where are we going with this? She's like, because you get on and you don't communicate, you don't talk to me. Because you don't talk to me, I can just, she said this on this phone call. And I'm like, is this being recorded? Because I sure recorded it.
Do you get paid to talk to her? Is that
she said that if I don't communicate, because I get on and I just do my work. And then on the side, I'm actually doing work for like other stuff. I'm researching, I'm trying to make sure that I'm putting out something or whatever the case may be. Right. So she'll say, like she said, if you don't communicate with me, if you don't tell me like when you go to the bathroom, I'm at home.
Shut up.
I swear. I swear. She said, if you don't like tell me when you go to the bathroom, if your system freezes up, like little things like that. I'm just gonna say you chose voluntarily not to work on the, on the clock. I said, but that's not what happened. She's like, well, that's what I can say. And then at that point, because it looks like I've already written, she wrote me up last year when I took a day off. Just took a day off. She said now it would be, we're just gonna put that as a corrective, and that corrective will not be your second, it won't be your first, it will be your final. So listen,
wow.
I was like, it don't scare me because at the end of the day, I need that, keeps the roof over my head and things like that. But at the same time, I don't like when people talk to me crazy like that, because
no, that's insane.
You don't know you don't know why these people need these. Like I'm saying, like it's me. Like, I think about me, you talking to me, but somebody else. Like, I know people who are in that building who are like, I can't leave. I cannot leave here. I remember during COVID, it's true. I got up, I packed my things up politely as soon as they said 50 people can't be in the room. I said, oh, yeah, I'm out. See ya.
I'm 51. Goodbye.
Yeah. I sent an email to everybody. I told them, here's the contingency plan that they have hidden on their website. Here's the contingency plan. If you are this age, if you are this applies to you. You can leave. You can leave and be fine. Right. And even when I called HR around that time, they said nobody should have been in that building since like last week. But they did not tell nobody in there. They wanted us people to keep working or whatever. And then they sent out an email. When I got home, I saw it. They said that I was causing disruption in the office by sending out my own email with a contingency plan that allowed people to go home. Listen, I don't play.
You're disrupting by telling people what they should know. The workers, what they should know their rights. That's oh God, I hate corporations so fucking much.
It's definitely, and they'll make
I do not miss
labor law violation.
Yeah, it's terrible. I hate it's my first corporate job for real, because I worked in pretty much news, and before that it was like freelance. So I worked in some really terrible jobs, but this is my first time really settling in corporate, and I hate it. But I was so grateful that my first few months there was okay. I could be cute in the building, like, you know, like I'm used to. But when I saw all that stuff going down, I'm like, these people are miserable. I had this. Y'all need to go home. This is your time to go home and be with your kids, to do something with yourselves and not get sick. There was a case that happened in there. Somebody did have COVID, and they didn't want to tell anybody. They were doing this thing where they were isolating them in a room. Yes, they were saying we can isolate.
Wait, they knew they had COVID and kept them in the office
because the person no longer had any time to take off to go home. So they kept them in the office and they isolated them in a building. One person left, and he was in the hospital for about 6 months. 6 months, and he was around so many different people. So yeah, these things are what happens, and this is why I don't play that. But at the end of the day, we're gonna be all right. So that was my day, but I'm still okay. I told you guys, I'm not. It affects me in a way. It does fuck with my mental a little bit, but at the same time, I think I'm a little bit stronger than letting that really take me, because you know, tomorrow, look what Glo really said. She said, at the end of the day gotta end. Okay, so and that's where I'm at with it.
That's a good line. At the end of the day
gotta end.
The day gotta end.
Yeah. Well, we're at the end of the show.
At the end of the show has to end.
Yeah, at the end of the show gotta end.
That song that Glorilla has with Megan Thee Stallion, by the way, is so good.
It's great. The challenge is crazy online though. Like everybody's like, "Oh my God, they're shaking their ass," and it's when Meg Thee Stallion shakes her ass, it's it's like a earthquake. It's like, but like, so now it's a challenge and it's getting crazy, because now all on TikTok is this ass, and it's offending a lot of people. And I'm pretty sure Ben Shapiro probably is somewhere punching the air about it. So, but
that's not natural.
Yeah. Okay. Charlie, thank you so much. Yes, he's my, he's moderating on my page. Thank you so much.
Nice.
Omega Star, good to see the whole LM together. Yep. Look, I know I came late, y'all. Y'all gotta say that. I know I came.
It's
late.
okay. It doesn't...
Yeah, it's not a big deal. Yeah,
we were actually missing
just poke
you.
fun
Like
for
I
fun.
remember, I think David. It was sometime around like 6:30 something. You're like, "Where's Rebecca?" And we were all like, "Where is Rebecca?"
Right, look, I'm coming.
It's because there was a bit. It's because there was a big silence. We were like, no one was talking. We're like,
right,
Rebecca?
how you running my mouth? I feel. I'm the filler.
We need someone to like bring some new conversation in here.
Yeah, I feel those over there.
We also needed some sunshine because we were getting really dark and everything.
Oh, it was dark.
We'd all just go quiet.
guys.
We were all just kind of like,
yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I'm glad I could be that for you guys. What's your nice thing to say to me, Matt?
Thanks for joining us.
All right, I'll take it.
I'm joking. I'm joking with you. It's always great to see you, Rebecca. It's always fantastic to see you.
Yeah, thank you. I'll take that energy. I'll take it. Charlie, thanks again. And another coffee.
I'm so emotional.
Andrew, you get my super from last week. I believe I did. Did I read it? I don't know, Andrew, but thank you for it. I'm pretty sure I got it. Love you, mean it. Tigwick, I'm irrationally angry at your employer. Have some money. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm mad too. Ronan05105. Love your YouTube voice. You're strong. Stay strong, queen. Thank you so much. Wanda keep stand up forever for yourself. Thank you. Keep standing up forever for yourself. And I will. They can't get me. Thank you, Wanda. Bay photo or Bay. See, I read that in Creole. Bay photo. I think it's Bay photo. Rebecca for NLRB chair.
Yeah.
Mike Thompson, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
That is it.
And
there you
go. There's one from AK. AK, I see you just threw that in there. Love
one?
you, mean it.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Thank you for your supers. And would I be terrible if I left? I came early and I feel like I need to stay a few more minutes, but
you can go whenever. Yeah.
If I
you had
were
a
you, I
long
would
day,
leave.
so you do
If I
what
were
you
you, I
want.
would leave
girl.
personally,
Okay.
but you can stay if you want. Stay
Yeah,
if you want,
you
of
do-
course.
you
But
get
if
to
you
do
want
what
to
you
leave, don't feel
want.
bad.
well, I'm
You
out
need to get back to the skies over Iran. There's some more work to be done. We totally
Oh my
get it.
god, that has to turn it all dark now.
No, he's terrible. He's terrible. All right, y'all. I love you guys. Mean it. I'll be on Saturday. I know we weren't on Saturday before, but my show will be on Saturday. I have some updates on Haiti. If you guys want to follow that, I'll be talking about that on Saturday. So I love y'all. Mean it. And I'll see you
Thank
guys
you,
next
Rebecca.
Thursday. Bye, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
All right. What do you
There's a few of
What am I supposed to
these.
say? What am I supposed to say?
I'm
when
saying thank you, too,
Rebecca's,
'cause I think it's
talking
from
about
me
her
also.
personal experience.
Oh, wait, it's
Oh,
$3.
cool.
There you go.
It's a little.
No, it's not you. I'm more just like glued to news right now, and every update that comes through, I'm like, oh my god, oh my god.
Yeah, that's
I'm
what I
not
was sort of
looking on
doing too.
purpose. I'm scared.
No.
Can you guys
Let's
hear
just
me?
get through these super chats and get the fuck out of here.
Can you hear?
I'm just
can you
trying to
hear me?
ignore. This is like my monitor here. I'm trying to like not look at Twitter and I don't know what's going
Yeah.
on.
I just
Hello?
closed the
Can
tab.
you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh,
There are
Oh,
three,
I was trying to pretend like
what do
we
you
couldn't
mean?
just to
Thank
fuck with
you.
you.
you're just all ignoring me. Okay, I got it.
I probably couldn't hear you
With love.
over myself speaking, but
Why am I low? Everyone always complains I'm low, and I
You
don't
were
get
very
it.
are
low
saying
today.
you're low.
You sound
There were
better
multiple
now.
People saying that you were low
I-
today.
Yeah.
That's
thought that
really
was true.
weird. I don't have this happened last time too. I don't have this issue on any other thing that I on the Majority Report through the program they use on my own show, which uses a completely different program. I don't know what's going on.
People say the
here
same
with-
thing about me. They're either like I'm way too loud or way too quiet. One of the two.
I don't
never
get it.
never
I don't-
porridge. Never perfect. I'm never golden.
I don't get it. I guess I have to be right
there
up
you
on
go.
the mic.
Yeah. No, I can hear
Just
you.
right
There you
up
go.
on it.
Yeah.
Narrator,
Yep.
$5. Thank you. Critique the system, be kind to the individual, but the systemic critique cannot be used to dismiss individual responsibility. Okay, I like that. That's a good way to put it.
I like the added
Appreciate
comma.
that. Yeah, I appreciate that, narrator.
Narrator, thank you for the $5. It says a fundamental principle of democracy has to be that the population of a nation is accountable for the actions of its government. Has to go both ways. The population of a nation is accountable for the actions of its government. Has to go. Yes, has to go. At the same time, like
No, no.
I don't think you
mean,
can
it's-
blame like the population of a country for something the leaders do. Like I'm not for that.
Yeah,
idea.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what Israel's arguing when they
Yeah.
attack citizens of Gaza. And they voted for Hamas nearly 20 years
Yeah.
ago. This is what they get. They're responsible.
No.
Oh, this is for me. What do you mean? Super sticker is for me too. Thank you. What do you mean? And also, Tokyo Hans with a super chat. I watched the Lance's interview with Ed Zitron. Ed was so calm and cordial. Vast contrast to when he was on Matt's show and is a planetary system worth of rage. Yeah, what did you guys talk about?
It was really fun. I just had questions, so it was less of, I guess, of a discussion, more of an interview where I wanted to know why the internet sucks. I had read, and I watch him and you all the time, Matt. I've read the Raw Economy articles. I was just like, I wanted his details on AI, why the internet sucks, and he had just like so many answers. And like the AI rabbit hole was awesome. The guy knows so much about that shit.
Yeah, he's great. But when he comes on Scam Economy, it is pretty much just me and him. Especially him just yelling and raging out at the world. So to hear him like just chilling out with you, I gotta catch it. I gotta watch it.
Maybe he was more chill, but like every 5 minutes it would just be like, sometimes I want to lose my mind, and I'd be like, yeah, I know, that sucks. That's fucked up.
Ooh, I just got.
He does a great Elon Musk impression, by the way. Did he do it for? Did it
No,
come
he
up
didn't.
during?
But now
All right,
I'm
next
scared
time
to
you
hear
talk
his
to him,
update.
ask for the impression. Yeah.
All right, Mike.
We're saying
lay it on
Mike?
us. Give it to us.
Let me see what time. So it seems like they maybe struck their nuclear site. This is not confirmed. They struck an Iran nuclear site. Yeah, that's not confirmed, but that's what I'm seeing.
Who's reporting that?
I don't have the headline. It was a screenshot of a headline from Branko Marcetic, but there wasn't the actual source itself. I'm trying to find who posted it. Let's see.
It was Haaretz,
I think. Okay, so that was from 13 hours ago. So that was an if it happens. So that is not dismiss that. Okay.
Okay.
This is why everything I see I take with a grain of salt.
Yeah, this is why we shouldn't even bother giving updates, because none of this stuff may be accurate.
Yeah, don't give updates based on let's stick with what's being reported.
Because that
on
would be
actual.
Huge.
Yeah.
Did we do this already? Yeah.
No.
This one.
Oh wait, we did. Yeah. This one's for me though, from narrator. How much longer will we abdicate responsibility for the people we vote into power by saying, but capitalism, citizens united, and the duopoly? I mean, I hear you. But capitalism, citizens united, and the duopoly. I mean,
those are actual reasons.
Yeah.
Not
I get that it's frustrating that that's the case, but it's also the reality.
Also, you can't the people you vote for, you can't expect them to represent exactly everything that you feel. This is why the person you're voting for is not yourself. Unless you're voting for yourself, you can't blame the voter. It just doesn't make any. It's
and also
stupid.
again, we can't expect that all of our problems will be solved, or we'll get lock in step someone who's with us on everything, with a politician. You can't lionize.
I feel especially when it comes to foreign policy, that is one thing where the population really just does not have any knowledge, let alone control over it's.
But with that being said, I continue to be impressed with some of our elected officials,
thank you, Andrew.
Talib, AOC, Ilhan Omar, Jamal Bowman, Cori Bush, Summer Lee. There's a few more I'm forgetting, but they have been.
There's been a few of them,
yeah. I mean, do they sometimes vote on something I don't completely agree with? Sure, but those tend to be smaller bore issues, or issues where they are looking at the broader, the long game plan.
Mm-hmm. Donald James still here to support you, David. Thank you, Donald.
Wow,
member for 26 months. Oh my goodness.
2 years. Wow.
I need a good. That's the passage of time. 2 years. Thank you, Donald.
Well, play your classic Donald Trump clip. How many years did he be? How many years has Donald James been?
Obviously, how did I not?
1 and 0 and 2.
That was literally right under that.
It still makes me laugh.
That's
1
how
and
many
0
years.
and 2. Perfect.
Tokyo Hans, 200 yen. Sex Panther Figueredo sounds better. In lieu of leopard Figueredo or something.
Not sure your parents would have called you Sex Panther.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to.
The doctor would have been like, "What the fuck?"
Unknown at £2. Thank you. The UK had the release of the cast review.
Well, what is that? I've been out of the loop here, and I know Emma had on Erin of that newsletter, Erin in the Morning. She's a great writer. They were talking about it, and I saw that Jesse Singal was yelling about it because he's obsessed.
Yeah, I saw that too. I don't know.
What is the cast review? It's something I have not been able to get to yet because there's been so many things happening. Does anyone know this?
I don't know. I'll look into it.
I'm not alone. No, okay. Lance, as you're
There's too much
frozen in
out
time
there to be aware of. Impossible.
All right, I'll have to look into it then. All right.
Nasset Complacence 199. Thank you. A U.S. vetoes bid for the full UN membership for Palestine. Yep, I saw that. Not surprised. Just Biden is a horrible person. Bayphoto 499. Thank you. Freedom Caucus. Mike Johnson. You ain't even no fart. Yeah, okay, right. The Ice Spice song. You think you're the shit? You're not even a fart. Love that. I need to listen to that again.
Did you see the IOF Ice Spice? That there was like hip hop artist wearing a wig and everything, trying to look like Ice Spice, but just talking about how like settlements are based and stuff like that.
Really?
This is so fucked up.
I didn't see that.
What?
That sounds
That
sounds.
Can we pull this up? Can we pull this up?
It's exactly what it sounds like. Yeah, I'll find it. It won't take long.
Why? She needs to sue them.
Colonize Ice Spice.
Just immediately. Kiowa Demon 999. Thank you so much. Been curious about the Medicare for All book you have in the background. As a future dentist, was wondering how was it. I want to build a small leftist library like you and wanted to see other books in your collection. I can't say I haven't read it yet, but I will eventually. It's the Citizen's Guide to Medicare for All.
Why would you admit that?
Well, I have no reason
He's not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, I read a lot of books, but
It's a great book. Check it out. I have it clearly centered in my background, promoting the book on my show.
He wants the viewers to read it so that they can tell him about it.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, no, I'll get around to it. I haven't read nonfiction in a really long time. I've been reading fiction to escape, but I'll read it eventually.
I get it.
I don't read a lot of books anymore because like my job is reading every fucking hour of every day, like real news. I don't want to go, oh, now in my spare time I'm going to read more. Like, fuck off. No, I'm going to completely drain my brain of all the bullshit I had to absorb for the past 8 hours.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Also, I'll buy books to support too, even if I don't get to it right away. Like I bought The Deficit Myth, and then I bought it again, and then I bought it a third time on digital, and then I read it like a year after, I think. But yeah, I buy to support too. So
Mike's one of those Gen Zers who wears the Nirvana shirts because he thinks it's a new fashion brand. Yeah, so this great book says Mike doesn't even know what Medicare for All is. He's never heard of it before.
I'm trying to look. I'm trying to switch them out, and this one has really big letters that you can see. Like other ones, you can't really. Like if I put manufacturing consent, it's kind of hard to. I mean, I guess you can see.
No, you can see that one. You could definitely see that. I guess you can consent at least.
Yeah, I'll switch them out though.
I don't even care what you can see back here. There's a God of War symbol. There's a Bernie drawing.
The Omega. Dun, dun, dun.
Nice
controllers.
Is that hold on? Is that a QAnon logo under Bernie's face?
Yeah.
This whole time.
Totally fits.
You guys never noticed.
That's why I see all those. That's why there's all those "Where we go one, we go alls" in David's chat.
I don't even know what that means.
That's the QAnon saying.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, I picked it up when I was in QAnon for a couple of years. Take my money like the government took my ACP benefit. There we go. Appreciate that. Christopher Ann is $10. Longtime viewer of David and Mike. Very punk rock like Matt. Love Lance and Rebecca. Won't be watching this live because I was late. Viva Masiofo. Izquierdista. I don't know if I said that right.
Good job.
I don't know.
I don't want to go back. I know this is not how that person meant it, but it was really funny. Love watching David and Mike. Matt, Lance, Rebecca, you guys are great. Won't be watching this shit though. I love all of you separately, but when you all come together, God, I can't stand you.
It's too much.
Unknown with £5. Thank you so much. As someone whose surname is King, no joke. Oh, I love that. And British, I feel so attacked. Just kidding. I hate the monarchy and the entire system. Listen, I think that the British accent does sound cool. The only reason why I'm trying to replicate it is because I am jealous. No, I think like it does sound cool. Some of them don't sound cool. Like it depends, I guess, on where they're from. And I couldn't differentiate it. Like if I hear it, I'm like, oh, that one sounds cool. But yeah.
JHLFSC with a super chat. The left making a huge mistake not throwing Cabrini in the right's face. A movie made by the right with a left-wing message is unheard of.
What?
Ignore it. Wait, what?
I've never heard of this movie.
I don't watch enough movies.
I'll have to look into this.
We'll have to make note of that.
Oh, the one about the nun? That's it. It's actually left wing. Okay, all right. I will watch it.
I'll look it up. I've never even heard of this movie.
Who's this for?
Oh, it's for me. Sorry. NC Sketchy with a $20 super chat. I called my local city council member, Crystal Hudson, regarding the arrests at Columbia. The office had no idea. I'd suggest calling if you live in NYC. I don't know what, if any, power they have over NYPD, but we mount pressure. I mean, they don't. City councils have any power over the NYPD. The mayor of New York City barely has any power over the NYPD, and specifically this mayor of New York City is happy to give the NYPD free reign because he's a cop himself. But yes, if we could get city council members to speak out against this, obviously it helps with, you know, the public understanding what's going on. Foresto with a super chat. My favorite analysis of J.K. Rowling is that she self-inserted as Voldemort, a self-hating half-blood that started a Holocaust against his own kind. I don't know enough about Harry Potter to understand any of this, but I'll take your word for it. Old man house phone with a super chat. I'll watch tomorrow. This money is for Rebecca and Ole. Invite Dr. Rashad Ritchie and or Dr. Jared Ball maybe, or burn it down with Kim Brown. Love all. I will have to check out all those people.
Unknown, £5. Thank you so much. PhD, his thesis supports trans men in science. Trans man Jamie Rains. Jamie Dodger has a great video about J.K. Rowling. Highly recommend his videos. I just subscribed to him, so thank you for the recommendation. I appreciate that. CS Coolidge with $20. My goodness, thank you. That is so generous. What is the president of Columbia even doing in that committee room? She's not in the executive branch. She was not issued a subpoena, and she must have heard at least some scuttlebutt from Harvard and Penn. Yeah, I honestly don't know.
There was a hearing on, wasn't there like a hearing called by Republicans on anti-Semitism or something? It was something like that.
Right.
I think that's why she was there.
Yeah, it was basically like they all just made it into a political show. There was really no real agenda there. If you watch the whole, I didn't see the whole thing, but I saw a bunch of clips besides what we watched. And yeah, it was just everyone took their time to virtue signal. You know, the few that asked real questions were Ilhan Omar, like, of course. Thank you, Pendulous.
Jacqueline Terrell. John Oliver is better at putting leftist ideas in front of a mainstream audience than Jon Stewart. Oh, John Oliver's great too. Jon Stewart is just he's just much bigger, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize that. I maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that if you look at how many people watch each show, I think Jon Stewart's audience.
Does it have to do with like HBO versus Comedy Central?
Probably.
Yeah.
Samson, $5 super chat says, "Oh dang, my fave lefty folks." Smiley face. Thank you.
Unknown, £2. Trump's Legally Blonde was what gets me.
Trump's Legally Blonde was what gets me. What does that mean?
I'm not sure.
Who's this for?
It's for me, Marcus Tan with a super chat. Name the Republican who you think would be in the underworld when they think they will be in heaven. I mean, all of them?
Yeah, literally every single one of them.
Tokyo Hans, member for 2 months, says attempts to bribe David with free super chat to do what Fetterman is doing on Israel situation. Try a massive bribe, and I'm still not going to do it. but please give me money. But I still won't listen to you. Just not, there isn't enough money in the world to make me feel like a piece of shit. That's Rebecca's here.
Oh, CS Coolidge, $10. Thank you, CS, again. So kind. The Canadian MPs have absorbed the lesson that the Zionist entity taught Congress with their assault on the USS Liberty. A Sarosa with $2. Thank you. And the fact that Bibi and Putin want Trump. Yeah.
Mike Thompson, thank you for the $5 super chat.
Kaya Damon, am I saying that right? $9.99 super chat. Thank you. Says your game reviews have been so good that you convinced me to get the newer Cyberpunk and eventually Unicorn Overlord. So am I to presume you are picking up Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance to increase the backlog? First of all, thank you. I don't really do reviews. I do more live streams. I do want to do proper reviews at some point if I have the time. But I'm definitely getting Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance, 100%.
When's that coming out?
It's coming out. They brought it up a week early because of the Elden Ring DLC coming out. So I think it's like June 16th or 14th, something like that. I loved the SMT5, but I got stuck like 20 hours in on some difficulty spike on some boss. And I'm like, and the frame rate was so bad on Switch, I couldn't, like, it was like the one Switch game where I'm like, this game is really good, but I cannot stand how bad it's running on this console. So I'm looking forward to playing it on like a PS5 where it runs properly. Absolutely picking it up, and it won't be increasing the backlog because I'll just play it right away. So it'll be a problem.
I'm seeing numerous reports from Iranian journalists that the Iran government is downplaying the attack, saying they weren't missiles, they were small drones, and they didn't do anything. So I don't know how accurate that is, but the fact that Iran is trying to downplay it, obviously,
that's
is
good
a good
news.
thing.
Yeah.
So like whatever we find out, maybe that's slightly inaccurate, maybe it is accurate. But the point of me sharing it is that Iran is trying to downplay what happened, which is good because obviously that means they're trying to downplay the fact that they need to retaliate.
Yeah. Good. Jules Winfield, thank you for the $5. If they think these protests are bad, wait until the Democratic National Convention this summer. Biden is going to lose over his genocidal insanity. Yeah, the convention, I imagine there is going to be a lot of protests unless things stop by then. But yeah, I don't think you're wrong, Jules. I really don't. And I fear the repercussions of a Trump presidency because I don't think it's going to go well.
Manuel R. Mentoros. This was sent a while ago. $10 super chat, though. Thank you so much for the $10, Manuel. Israel has striked Iran, according to ABC and Hertz. Yes, yep. Thank you for sending that. We've been talking about it. Yep.
Kowalski, $9.99 super chat. Thank you for your generosity. Says if a regional conflict were, if a regional conflict were to occur in the Middle East, would that necessarily be a bad thing? It sounds like higher commodity prices, and why should I not want that? Increase the price of corn, I say.
There's an ongoing gag right now with Kowalski and me, and I don't know if anyone else, other shows he listens to, that he is now secretly being very subtle about being pro-war so he can make money off of his increased corn prices. It's a bit.
I'm knowing enough about Kowalski, I can tell he's not being serious.
Yeah, we know Kowalski.
Infinite Content, $5 super chat. Thank you. Says Jesus effing Christ, I assume. Iran is going to clap back. So luckily, hopefully they're not. Clap back after this. The Israeli government needs to remove those hawks from power because all hell is about to break loose. I mean, that would be what? Removing the entire government at this point? Like, it's who are they going to replace them with, I guess, is the real issue. Like, that Netanyahu is a problem, but like it doesn't really appear like the replacement would, I mean, it would hopefully be better, but
yeah, would Benny Gantz, like maybe he wouldn't be as bad as Netanyahu, but still be very, very bad.
I guess the one hope is that maybe he'd be more controlled by Biden as opposed to like Netanyahu, who doesn't give a fuck.
Well, you got to think that Netanyahu. I agree with everything you're saying, but you also got to think that Netanyahu is specifically doing this all right now to prolong his his running of Israel.
Yeah, for sure.
Because the second Israel is no longer involved in a war or whatever it is they're doing in Gaza, it's not a war, the genocide in Gaza, then there's going to be elections. So what?
And there's already massive protests against him, like within the country.
So Netanyahu would love if like Israel got involved with like a country in the way that the U.S. got involved with Afghanistan. I mean, he would be there for a while longer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kuya Damon with a super chat, $10 super chat. I know the news cycle, the Leftist Mafia, isn't always uplifting, but I wanted to mention I was finally accepted to a dental school. Tufts to you and
yeah.
Checking in with your streams helped me get here.
Go clean
Thanks
those teeth.
Matt.
Hell yeah.
Thank you so much.
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
And once you're a successful dentist making lots of money, don't forget to give back to the Leftist Mafia by giving us free teeth whitening and cleaning and all the
free
good
cleanings would be great. I'll take a free cleaning.
Even dental care in Canada costs money. It's not part of healthcare for some reason. Teeth. I mean, I guess it is kind of now, isn't it? Did they pass something? I don't know. I'm not following the recent news about what we passed in Canada. But we passed some dental coverage for some people. But still, it's not under our typical universal system. So I would also take a free cleaning.
Yeah.
Looking
Those are
forward to that.
expensive and very necessary. Which reminds me, I need to make an appointment.
It never made sense to me that dental isn't considered part of
I know,
the
it's so
overall
weird.
healthcare plan.
It's so stupid.
Or mental.
Who decided that?
Or vision, or
vision.
Or mental
dental,
lens.
mental, or vision. That doesn't make any sense.
That seems like a very like lobby specific thing. Like the dentist came out in like unison. We're like, no. Like
It especially doesn't make sense though, because like as you learn as you get older, dentist isn't just about making sure your teeth are shiny and white. Like they actually uncover some very serious issues through your gums and your teeth. Like they can save your life by discovering something in them, in those gums, and those, and we're just not considering it part of healthcare. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's yeah. Unknown with £5. Thank you, Unknown. You've sent in so many super chats. I really appreciate your kindness. If that was me, Rebecca, I would give them every bit of detail about going to the bathroom. Yeah, that would be just like, hey, I'm gonna take a giant fat shit right now. Got back. Oh God, that was stinky. It took me 10 minutes to wipe it. Just like go as gross as possible with the shit. She wants to know.
That's why you gotta get a bidet.
Yeah.
Perfect timing for Dylan Burns to raid my Twitch stream.
Oh no!
Thank you so much, Dylan. 170 viewers, 169 viewers. Thank you so much. Hey everyone, you're catching the reading of the listener viewer super chat portion of the Leftist Mafia.
The best part, really, is what people say.
Yeah, it's fun. We
are saying it. Still alive, $4.99 super chat. Thank you. Says, speaking of shitty corporations, have you guys seen Fallout yet? It's fantastic. Your thoughts to anyone who saw it? I want to see it. I do know that there is a next gen update coming to Fallout 4. Fallout's like one of the franchises I've just never played, so I am looking forward to playing Fallout 4. Even though I'm not a huge Bethesda fan, but we'll see. So after I play a bit of that, I will check it out. I'm currently watching Tokyo Vice. I'm in like season 2. I'm really enjoying that show. I just love Japan. Like I love Japan and like film and like video. So I'm really just enjoying seeing
David's
Tokyo.
what are they called? Weeaboo.
Yeah.
A little. I feel like I'm
a white guy who likes Japanese culture.
My room isn't like full of like Japanese stuff, but I don't know. Give me 10 years, we'll see. But yeah, I do have I came late to it though. Like a lot of people grew up like really loving anime and stuff. I didn't. Like I feel like in the past 5 years, in my 30s, is when I got into Japanese culture. Weirdly,
yeah.
Narrator with a super chat.
I have the same. This is for me.
You
Narrator with a super chat. Gaza is not a democracy.
I read that because I assumed
that's
he was
about the
talking to me
previous.
because that's in response to what I said.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
But I guess you want to give me the money.
Right.
He's angry at you.
I love that.
you want to respond, Ben? I don't have anything to say to that.
I mean, I don't. I mean, sure, it's not, but I mean, your overall point was that the people who vote for a group, like, the elections were by all accounts fair elections. So they're not a democracy anymore, but when that election took place, they were, because Hamas fairly won that election.
Narrator was saying earlier, in case people were just joining now, that people should be held accountable for what their government does, and I don't think that really makes.
I don't agree at all, because even in a democracy, you really don't have a lot of control over your governments. I mean, people need to be separated from governments, because I think if you
I
ascribe
fucking
culpability,
hate what the U.S. government is doing right now. I fucking
Yeah.
despise it, and I love these people. I love Americans. I hate what
Right.
the U.S. is doing. Right? I separate the two. Obviously.
Thank you.
You got-
Yeah,
you got
nobody
it.
wants to be associated with their shitty governments. I don't want to be associated with the American government and all the war crimes we've committed, and the militarism and the colonialism and the genocide. But it's not. I can't stop it. I'm powerless. A lot of people are powerless. A lot of people, even if they knew, they wouldn't be able to stop it. I think a lot of people are ignorant. So you have to disaggregate people from governments.
All this time, I've been hearing all these people ask Mike to please stop it, get everyone to stop it, and I never knew why he just didn't. But now
I'm trying so hard to press the stop button, but they're not. It's not working.
Michael Weaver, $5 super chat. Let's lighten up the mood with anime. What sort of anime do you guys all like / favorite anime of all time? Thanks for all you do. I haven't watched enough to give like any kind of informed opinion. I've been watching Serial Experiments Lane because I like the intro music. But it's
bangers.
I'm enjoying the. It's funny. I've been watching that show for like, I don't know, a year and a half. It's like, I think it's like 1 season, 2 seasons. I forget now, but I should get back to finishing it. I don't have much else to really contribute though. So I don't know. Anyone else want to jump in on the anime?
I'm not like the biggest anime person ever, but I have some faves. I think my favorite anime of all time is Erased. It's like a 12-episode series, really, really good. My second favorite would be Attack on Titan, and my third favorite is a tie
Marjorie Taylor
between.
Greene's in that one, right?
Yeah, she's the Titan who ate Aaron's mom. Yeah, episode 1. So it's tragic. I'm currently watching.
I do want to watch that.
Attack on Titan is objective. Like, even if you're not into
I
anime,
hear it's really, really good.
It's incredible story. It's just so good. I can't recommend it enough. Same with Erased. I'm watching One Piece right now. I'm on episode like almost 400. Absolutely fucking love it. It's just, it keeps getting better. It's so good.
I thought about getting into it, and then I saw the number of episodes. I was like, nah, I'm out. There's no way. There's no.
Yeah.
Then again,
It's daunting.
Do you have to watch it all to know what's going on? It sounds more like it's. Are the episodes like
It's
contained,
chronological,
or is there...
Yeah, you're gonna want to watch.
Oh my
in
god!
order.
How did they keep that going for so long?
That was my question, because there's like 1,000 episodes.
Yeah,
they find a way to raise the stakes and make it better. It's funny. The characters are hilarious. It's just I love it so much. It's so good. Like, it's not as good as like Attack on Titan, that's more serious, but it's basically a comedy. Like, I fucking love Attack on Titan. It's so good. I can't recommend it enough, even though it's very daunting. Like, and some of the arcs go on way too fucking long, but it's so great. I love it so much.
I will say one last thing on Serial Experiments Lane. It apparently was one of the influences for The Matrix. So it's
wow.
It's a very mind f kind of show. Like it starts a bit unassuming, but it kind of gets like a little weird, and it's really good. If you haven't watched it, I think it's about, since it influenced The Matrix, I believe it's like late 90s.
Oh yeah, somebody mentioned Death Note. Yeah, that's a really good one too.
Mm-hmm. I've heard good things about that.
Mm-hmm.
This for Matt?
Tokyo Hans with a super chat. When Matt asked, "Can you hear me?" I automatically physically put my thumbs up to my camera. Working from home has conditioned me. LOL. Yes, I can see how that happened. X Norku. Thank you so much for the super chat. Narrator with a $10 super chat. But when the left understands that Biden is jealousy, wait, hold on. Jealously, excuse me, let me reread it. Narrator with a super chat. But when the left understands that Biden is jealously supporting genocide, but still defend him electorally, they are saying genocide is not a red line for leftist support. Oh, it absolutely is. At least for me.
It is a red line.
Yes. I've said time and time again that something needs to change for me to change my mind on Joe Biden. And that would only be for the election, obviously. He's done in terms of like how I view him as a president.
Well, that was before he was elected.
Yeah, I mean, I've hated Joe Biden forever. Like he's a piece of shit.
Here we go.
Jerome with a super chat. Hello from Montreal. Hey, how are you? I appreciate you bypassing the Canadians nearby and just saying hello to me over here in the U.S.
Hey there in Britain. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Cold Dog with a membership super chat.
Yeah.
That's how you really offend.
Yeah, that's really how you really offend both French people and Quebecois people.
Cold Dog with a super chat, a membership super chat, member for 8 months. It's so shitty that we can't move on from barbarism as a society and start focusing on all the problems that will come from climate change. Well, yeah. You know, as we're talking about all this, obviously there are other prevalent and prescient issues lurking in the, and I can't even say lurking in the shadows, because in some cases
smacking us in the face.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
If you just look at what's going on in Congo, I mean, it's unspeakable. The slavery, the exploitation, the deaths, all for resources.
Same with Sudan, the same with Haiti.
It's just, yeah.
Fenrir 787 $5 super chat says UK is doing its centennial tradition of denying a homeland to Palestinians. Has it been 100 years since the Balfour Declaration? Which, that's the one that I believe that was something to protect Palestinians, Palestinian rights in Britain, I believe.
Oh, the Balfour Declaration was the declaration of the state of Israel on Palestinian territory
to protect. Yeah,
am I reading that? It's been 100 years since.
Yeah, I don't know.
Bad Ash 29 $2 Canadian. Thank you. The Cast report is a transphobic medical report. Okay, I'll look into this. I know that the NHS cut off gender affirming care to minors. So if they were basing that off this report, yeah, I'd be curious to see what they said. I know that they said basically that they cut off access to gender affirming care because there was like insufficient evidence that it works, which is fucking wild to me for them to say. The one silver lining is that like people, kids who are already getting puberty blockers and HRT can still get it, but it's still really like, it's still extremely fucked up because if gender affirming care is literally healthcare, so you're just denying healthcare to people.
Do you all know about the cast review? Do you know what it said? And
I haven't seen it. No.
The rest of you, in like less than 1 minute, all I can say is that it was a review obviously conducted by the NHS in Britain to try and talk about puberty blockers and their effects on teenagers. They rejected close to 50 studies that looked at actual, like these are academic studies that were performed on people who were trans, who basically underwent puberty blockers when they were young. And the reason they said they rejected them was because of the fact that they weren't double-blind studies. But like every scientist or medical professional will tell you, it's really, really unethical to do a double-blind study with HRT and puberty blockers, because the idea would be that you need a control group. And so for a control group, kids who are going for puberty will be lied to that they're given puberty blockers. So it's the same, like Canadian doctors came out and said, this is the same thing why you don't do these kind of studies with pregnant women, because it's very unethical if a woman's pregnant to give her drugs to say, hey, this could help X, and all of a sudden we're giving you a placebo, aka a sugar pill, when to find out whether or not it's something that's effective. So that's one of so many fucked up things about it. Like it's something where they consider 24-year-olds and younger to be children. So a 24-year-old, a 23-year-old is a child under that definition. They said there's a biological imperative for the toys that you play with, aka it's in your DNA to be a boy and play with hammers and trucks, and if you're a girl to play with dolls. Yeah. And here's the funnest part. They used AI art to put trans people as pictures in it. Yeah, like actual AI generated pictures of non-binary people. They actually put it in the report instead of actual pictures of real human beings.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have a video on this, Lance?
Yeah, I can send it to you.
Okay, yeah, I want to check that out. Unknown, 10 pounds.
There we go.
Cast reviews stopping some healthcare for under 18s and suggesting stopping for under 25s for trans people. I'm 20-year-old and trans, 5 years on T soon. Gender GP have expanded from just the UK. I mean, Jesus Christ, 25 years old. That's fucking insane. I didn't know about that. Jesus. Congrats on the 5-year anniversary, though. That's awesome. But the fact that, like, if you're at risk, that's also really horrifying. So, yeah, I'm so fucking tired of this bullshit. Brienne, $5. Thank you. Have you ever heard of the group Win Without War? Their platform is exactly what we need. I have heard of them. I don't know much about them, though. I'll take a look at their platform if I can remember. Unknown with 2 pounds. There's a Trump and Legally Blonde video.
Oh, that's what they were referring to earlier.
Okay. I assumed that he said something that like was Legally Blonde-ish, like, you know how like in the beginning of the movie she like is kind of like out of her league, and then by the end she's an alpha. But I'll have to check out the Trump Legally Blonde video.
Angelin de Bagashaki. I always say that name wrong. I know.
It's Bashor, isn't it?
It's Bashor, yes, but I like saying Bagashagagi, but it's Bagashagagi. With a $10 super chat, I sold a Team Fortress 2 hat for $1,800 this week. So here, was gonna send it to Mike, but his stream wouldn't let me. That's amazing.
What? Damn you, stream.
$1,800 for a Team Fortress 2 hat.
What?
Wow.
I'm in the wrong business and wrong collectibles.
I played Team Fortress 2 years ago, and if I have anything that's worth that much money.
Yeah, right.
Let's just put it this way. After this $10 super chat, the person who bought that Team Fortress 2 hat only paid $1,790 for it. Okay. I got the deal of a lifetime. Okay.
Michael Weaver, $5 super chat. I think he says, also, what is everyone's opinion about GTA 6? I don't remember you all ever speaking about it.
Well, we did when the trailer dropped a lot.
Well,
I don't really know what to say about it, though. We haven't seen any gameplay, right?
I want to play it. Like, I have no opinion until I play the game.
I actually did a video about it because there were a bunch of psychos online that were transvestigating the main character. So I talked about that.
Are you kidding me? These fucking people have nothing better to do with their lives. Oh my God, it's so ridiculous.
They're trying to draw like an Adam's apple like circle around, like just going fucking wild.
We always know.
Yeah.
Omega with a super chat. If Iran said we barely hit you, what goes around comes around. I'm not sure what you're saying there, but Social Lust with a super chat. Fallout show anyone? I've not watched it yet, but I have heard good things.
I saw 2 episodes. It's good. The 2 episodes I saw were good, minus Michael Rappaport. He should have been.
No, I have
AI
not
out.
read my supers. Thank you
That
for the
was
$2 donuts in it.
That was actually
Lance,
for
go
me.
ahead.
That was actually. Wait, hold on, Lance.
whenever you want.
Lance, hold on.
Yeah,
Don't read it quite yet, because there might be some people who want to give me super chats to ask if they
to keep asking. What do you mean with the 149 with the message love? Thank you very much. Everyone go check out What Do You Mean? I'm sure you all know What Do You Mean channel already. If you don't, go check it out on the YouTubes. Andrew S with the membership, thank you very much. Soul Life with the membership, thank you very much. Andrew S, speaking of pop culture media, have you been keeping up with X-Men's 97? It's been wild so far. I have. Don't know about y'all.
I have not seen it.
Spoilers. Okay.
I need to.
I haven't watched it yet.
I will though.
Badash 29 with the $5. Hot tub stream when? Probably not in this apartment. My floors are already flooded from water, and they need to be replaced. So I have to leave for a month apparently. So that.
What?
Will not be
in?
happening here. I just moved in. Yeah, it was apparently because I had to. The plumbers looked at it. Something about I don't know. I won't bore you. Dishwasher thing wasn't all tight enough, and so no hot tub streams in the near future. Meow 9 with the 6.99. Lance and David, possible to get Tristan from Steckback and Steve Boots from Canadian Politics Special Extravaganza on the Leftist Mafia. I can get Stepback. I don't know the other person. I don't know if you guys know Steve Boots.
Stepback, I know. Yeah, the other person I don't.
Okay. Thought Slime on Leftist Mafia. I can make that happen if y'all want it. Thought Slime would love to come on. Yeah. And then thank you, $2 from Tigwick. Did you read your super chats? The answer now is yes. So
there you
back
go.
to y'all, gentlemen.
Awesome.
Yeah.
CS Coolidge with $10. Thank you. Forget to say I love you all immensely, but my dear Hotel Romeo, the cut of your beard and the cut of your jib makes you my fave. Oh, well, thank you. I really appreciate you saying that. I just trimmed my beard, so it's looking less ratty than usual, although I went too short right here, so.
Fenrir 787 says, isn't the belief that people, meaning civilians, are responsible for their government the reason Hamas used to justify their attacks? It's the reason that's the reason Israel is using to attack. It's just regardless of who's using it. It's that's what terrorists do. That's what they say. Like we're attacking these civilian targets because they supported this government, and now you see governments doing the same thing. So, yeah. Brian B, thank you for the super chat. Says playing Skyward Sword with girlfriend, and it's way better than the open world games.
That's a hot take.
I never finished Skyward Sword. Like I don't even know. I think I played maybe.
It's
10
good,
hours of
but
it.
I would not say it's better than Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. I think that's.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just based on the fact that I beat Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, like that alone for me is why they're better. But
I do like Skyward Sword.
I understand people preferring the guardrails and, preferring that sort of game. I totally get it, but I definitely like the new style.
It's just a different kind of game, I feel like.
Yeah.
Even though they're both Zelda, it just feels like different games.
It's similar, but yeah, Breath of the Wild it just opened it up.
Yeah. Kowalski with $9.99. Thank you. I'm the only American citizen you can blame for the current situation with our government. I need a war to pay for my new hot tub and jet ski. Hold that corn till the prices goes to the moon.
Retro Burner says, watch Golden Boy. It's only 6 episodes, but probably the funniest anime you'll ever see. Golden Boy, eh?
I don't think I've heard of that.
Golden Boy anime.
Okay.
What year did it come out? It looks like an old one, which I like. I like old anime. Yeah, like 90s. It's 90s sweet.
I've seen Cowboy Bebop and Ghost in the Shell was good too.
Oh,
I have seen a lot of.
I did
haven't
love
seen all
Dragon
of
Ball
Cowboy
Z.
Bebop, but it's good.
Yeah,
Dragon Ball Z I never got into it. Like I remember being on TV as a kid. I just never really watched it, and now I feel like I've missed out. But it also feels like if I try to watch it now, I won't really get it.
I have a solution for you, David. I didn't get into it until I was an adult. So I played Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. It gives you the whole story condensed.
Really?
And it's very, very good. I actually watched the anime after I saw that. And you really don't have to watch the anime. Like it doesn't give you every arc, but I think now there's DLC. But play Kakarot and you'll get the whole story.
I think that game's on PlayStation Plus, so if it's free already, then I'll just check it out.
And it's kind of fun. Like it's not the best gameplay ever, but it's fun enough, and the story is good because it's just the Dragon Ball Z story. Just it's new animations for
David,
it.
we call it
Good
Dragon
to
Ball
know.
Z, just so you know.
Oh right.
No, we don't.
Actually, I was watching a CBC. I was watching a CBC news piece, and they were talking about Gen Z, but they kept saying Gen Z or Gen Z. Like they didn't even know. Like they didn't know what they should be saying, and this is CBC News. Whether it's
Wow.
now I'm like, should I as a Canadian be saying Gen Z? That just sounds wrong.
You know what's funny is
Z just sounds.
British
cleaner, I don't
people
know.
switch up the pronunciations too. So there's this Nintendo Switch YouTuber that I watch. His name is Beat 'em Ups. I really like his stuff. But he was talking about Zelda, and he said Ocarina of Time, and then he said Ocarina of Time, and I'm like, oh, and I saw like the comments are like Ocarina. Yeah, like that's a new one. I love it.
Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, like because they kind of
The
do like an
Ocarina
ER
of
instead
Time.
of yeah.
So Ren with a $10 super chat. There's a grocery store chain in Minnesota called Kowalski's that is nice, but charges like 75% more. Coincidence? I don't know, but we need answers, right? Well, it's all making sense
funny.
now.
Yep.
Fenrir again. Thank you so much for your super chat. Says One Piece is so good. You'll fly through each episode. Every episode is amazing. No DBZ forever fights or super long fillers. Great stuff.
Good.
Yeah, the thing I've heard about Dragon Ball Z is that there's just like fight upon fight
my
upon
God.
fight, and it's just like what. I'm sorry, I don't think I would enjoy that.
awesome.
I don't think I would enjoy. I would be wow, this is cool to watch, but I'm not going to sit here watching this anime fight when I could be, I don't know, playing a video game or doing something else in my free time. Maybe in the background.
Video game.
Play it in the
I'm gonna watch
background or
These
something.
anime characters fight each other. When I could be fighting people in the video
Yeah, when
game
I could be
right
fighting myself, I'm not
You
going to watch
nerds.
you fight. I'm going to do the fighting myself. I'm not going to watch you fight.
The video game of Dragon Ball Z is perfect because it like condenses it. Whereas if you watch the anime, like the Frieza
That's what. Yeah,
arc,
this sounds appealing to me because I
It's
get
like-
to play it and I get to also understand the story. Sounds perfect.
And then when you see the actual anime, it's like, oh my god, the Frieza fight lasted forever because it's like, you think he's dead and then he rises again laughing, oh, and then you think that fucking, Goku is down and then he rises, like, oh my god, you
This
have to
sounds
like kill each other.
To be honest, this sounds a bit like WrestleMania. I watched WrestleMania, and it's like, how many finishers do you have
Hinder,
to
that's
pull
why
on a
you
guy
like
now to end a fight? It's just,
Yeah.
I hadn't really sat down and watched a wrestling event in like 20 years, and it's like, wow, like I remember finishers not being like the end of every match, but I feel like it's really changed where it's like you got to finish a guy
not
like
about the
15 times before.
No, that just happens
about
at
the training.
WrestleMania.
It's about the training in Dragon Ball
That
Z.
just happens at
that's all it is.
WrestleMania. That's
Oh,
not
that's just a
the usual
WrestleMania thing? Okay.
Yeah, everyone gets a superpower for WrestleMania. I'm serious. It only happens at WrestleMania. Otherwise, a finisher usually ends the match.
I mean, what happened though is what I expected to happen. I expected what's his name again? That blonde haired dude.
Cody
win.
Rhodes?
Yeah, Cody Rhodes.
I thought WrestleMania was great.
Like he
It's
lost
terrible.
last year, so he's definitely winning this time. He's a fan favorite, and I enjoyed it
thought
for what it was.
Well done. It was a good show. Yeah. Omega with a super chat on One Piece episode 365. Watched
Well, we're
all
close
of
to each other.
Attack on Titan last month. Geez, that's a lot of episodes.
Yeah, I think I'm around there. I'm around like the 380s or 390s, I want to say.
My God.
It's so good though. I did not think I'd be hooked. I watched the live action on Netflix and then I'm like, I want to check out the cartoon, and it's really great.
Is the live action good?
When
The
did One
live
Piece
action
start?
is I don't know, like in the 90s, I think, or the 2000s.
Yeah, I think it's like early 2000s, I think.
Yeah, the live action is really good. I went into it kind of not knowing anything about it. It is it's super campy and corny, but it was still like worth watching. Like there was kind of a lull in the middle, but it was worth it, and it got me into it got me into the anime.
There's 1,100 One Piece episodes.
Yeah,
he wasn't
there's
joking.
yeah,
That's why I said
thought
when
you were
I saw
being
the episode
silly. Yeah, I
number,
just
I
looked
was
up.
like, no, I
How-
can't get
no,
into it.
How is it that this show started 10 years after The Simpsons and it has more episodes than The Simpsons? How is that possible?
They're relentless, and so far, near 400 episodes, they are keeping it super fresh. It keeps getting better. Like with time, it's getting better.
What's The Simpsons at? How
Yeah.
762 episodes.
No
Oh
shit.
my God.
I would have expected them to be at like 10,000. I mean, I haven't seen The Simpsons for a few years, but
I didn't think I don't know why I didn't think it'd be that
Fuck.
high, but
Yeah.
it's always been a staple.
yeah,
makes
I've been
sense.
watching
That
it
makes
since
total
I was a
sense.
kid, so I'm like, oh, they've got to have at least like 10 million episodes by now, you know?
I gotta say, the seasons though for One Piece are all over the place. One season has 16 episodes, another season has 197 episodes.
I think it's also
How
because
that
of
even
when
makes
they
sense?
air, right? Simpsons was like every Sunday. One Piece is every day, I think, or was.
How are they making that many?
I think they're worked to the. I remember hearing like they're worked to the bone in Japan.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how it is now, but I know it used to be like they were like they're all day like 12-hour shifts like working on, a new
They have
episode.
to be with how many there is. And it's supposed to end soon, and they're making a new one. Like it's a remake of One Piece, a different anime, as far as I know. But yeah, it's and one thing that kind of sucks is that they don't have all the episodes on Netflix. It goes up to like 534, and then I have to get Crunchyroll to get 535 to like
Really?
1100. Yeah, it's a bit of a journey, but it's good.
Wow.
Asa Rosa, I don't understand the hatred of Antonio Guterres. That's the UN Secretary General, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
because he's speaking out against what Israel's doing, and so
yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's I guess that's who's hating him.
Yeah.
That are
He also
against
says things about climate change, so conservatives are going to have a problem with that and think that he's trying to bring in some new world order because, that's what they do.
Kowalski with a $10 super chat. Is child labor really that bad? If you and your spouses can earn $80K at full-time minimum wages, just one child in a slaughterhouse can put the family into six figures. Tip your landlords, folks.
Oh my God.
Wow, Kowalski's just
Quite the
going
persona he
for,
has going on.
Yeah. Just going for everything now. Terrence Sauve. Or Sauve, or maybe even Terrence Suave. I don't know. You tell me.
I think it's Suave.
Take my Canadian loonies. Dylan only accepts Maryland bucks. If the 2024 Canadian budget goes through, we may become the top socialist G7 countries.
Yeah, right. It's all right for the Liberal Party. It's not like that great. Eric Hicks, $4.99, thank you, says, hey, David, did any of you fellas watch Don Lemon's interview where he had on Jank, BTC is Brian Tyler Cohen, and David Pacman. I actually did watch that because I was curious. I'm like, I saw this pop up in my feed. I follow Don Lemon on YouTube since he left CNN. And it was a fine conversation. The way he intros it, though, is just like... he like intros them as like you are like the trifecta of the left or something, or like the holy grail of the left on YouTube. I'm like, okay. So, I don't know, maybe.
I guess I'll go fuck myself.
But it was just it was a fine conversation. Nothing really to add. Jerome, thank you for the $6.99. Let's donate to David as well. Thank you, Jerome, for the acknowledgement. And that is the oh no, never mind. There's more. There's one more chat.
There is.
Oh, Asa Rosa, thank you. Haters are saying that he doesn't do enough for PA. Oh, okay, about Antonio Gutierrez. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not familiar with that criticism in particular.
I don't know.
I think he's fine. I don't have any strong feelings about him either way, personally.
All right.
Should we quadruple raid somebody on Twitch?
Yeah, who should we
quadruple
raid?
I don't got Twitch going, so I'm gonna leave.
Oh, shoot.
Bye. See you all later.
Bye, friend.
Take care.
Have a good.
Who you guys rating? Let me know.
I don't know. Too close.
Want to raid Hassan?
Is he even gonna notice?
He's not gonna notice. No.
Sure, just do it for the memes.
Yeah, we should. We've never done it.
Raid Hassan.
Support
same
small.
Time? All right. Let's see what happens.
All right, bye.
Wait, hold on.
Take
Wait,
care,
wait,
Lance.
where are you going? Where are you going, Lance? We do it at the same time. Is he gone already?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. I'm pressing it.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. See you all next week.
Take care, everyone.